making a name for itself on the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series circuit. WeatherGuard is the official sponsor of the safety and security work crews at Speedway Motorsports tracks across the country. Engineered to meet the demands from job sites to race sites, WeatherGuard truck boxes feature double welded seams, weather-tight seals, and high-security latches and locks. If it's a job worth doing, it's a job worth WeatherGuard. Learn more at weatherguard.com/truck.
At the end of your first year, Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right, everything you earned doubled. All the cash back from eating at your favorite soup dumpling restaurant doubled. All the cash back from that trip where you sort of learned to snowboard also doubled. And the best part, you don't have to do anything ridiculous to get it. Nope, Discover does it automatically. Serious though. See terms, check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
Hi, I'm Peter Sagal. When we were growing up, my two brothers and I just loved our Uncle Ted. He was like a really cool big brother who always brought around the best toys and took us to the best places and with whom we always had the most fun. It was odd, though, when we got older, to realize he wasn't nearly as outgoing and adventurous with other adults. I found out much later that this might have had something to do with the ostomy bag he wore ever since he was diagnosed with Crohn's disease as a teenager and had part of his lower intestine removed. Theodor Skolnick, my Uncle Ted, died last year at the age of 80, never having once mentioned his illness to me or my brothers. He left a large bequest to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation to help fund better treatments for these diseases and also to help other people, old and young, seek and get help for the situation that he was never able to talk about. Don't feel you need to hide your Crohn's or colitis. Go to spillyourguts.org to learn more about the treatments available and even find a specialist. That's spillyourguts.org.
When I was in Iraq, our convoy was hit. It was bad. After I came home, I could still hear booms and see tracer fire. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
With help from DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm part of DAV. We're veterans helping veterans to get the benefits they've earned. And I give my veterans my all.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Naomi Mathis, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
And Barnes hits one high. It's a deep. It is out of here. Morant.
It's time to get up and get your day started. It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable!
Here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Good morning, everyone. I'm back. Yes, back in the saddle with Eli Savoy, with Zach Boyd. My name is Greg Gaston. Welcome into Sports 56 Mornings as we come to you live and in color from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Their summer clearance sale continues at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. It's the Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023 edition of the program, officially into week 0 of the college football season. Stupid, but it is what it is. Saturday, there will actually be college football games. It is going to be a packed show. We will talk college football, SEC specifically, with Connor O'Gara, who joins us for another season. He'll be on with us every other week during the college football season. He'll be on today at 7:25. At 8:25, we start another campaign with Jeff Crane, University of Memphis Deputy Athletics Director. Good timing with the big announcement yesterday of the University of Memphis football promotion, the tickets that could be free to you. Well, initially $60, but could end up being a season-long $60 investment if the Tigers win home games and continue to win home games. If you don't know that, we'll discuss that. I'm sure Eli talked about it yesterday. Also, 9:25, Jonah Dillon will join us for the first time. He is the new Tigers football beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. Also, will cover the Grizzlies. Jonah will join us at 9:25. We got Humdinger's trivia coming your way at about 8:05, just after the top of the hour, second hour break. We'll let you know what tomorrow's topic will be for 5 favorite things. We'll take your calls and texts on the Sports 56 listener lines. You can hit us up at 901-360-8255 with comments, questions, concerns. Also, you can send us a message via Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or send it to the website at sportsmemphis.com. And, welcome back to Memphis for me. Excessive heat warning today. Heat advisory issued for the Mid-South. Currently, it's 78 degrees, but with the 89% humidity, right now it's a feel-like temperature of 85. Incredible. 85 at 7:03. We're looking at a high temp of 99. So obviously the heat index will be up near probably 110. Tonight, mostly clear, low around 79. Tomorrow, high of 100. And it will get even hotter as the week progresses. We also have an air quality alert going on until 5:30 tonight. That is your lineup for today. Kick back, relax, enjoy. I am ready to get back into all of this. How are you, man? How you doing, man?
I am fantastic.
Yeah?
Sorry about your boy canceling on you.
Let me tell you
Sucks that he heard you were going to be there.
Yeah, evidently. I still don't know what happened. I mean, the rumor is he had a bit of the flu bug that was going around somewhere, somehow. I'm not sure if it was in Philly or maybe their last concerts they did. But Mary and I, my wife and I, got off the plane in Philadelphia on Wednesday. The concert was Wednesday night. My friend and his girlfriend were picking us up. We were going to hang out in Philly, go to the concert that night, and then back to Atlantic City the night after the concert. Walking down from being, once we were dropped off, once we were landed, got out of the plane, walking to get the bags, look on my phone, and see the text. You talk about depression. My wife, man, thought she was going to jump off the Walt Whitman Bridge. She was so depressed. And, it's bad enough if you travel somewhere to go to a concert and the concert is canceled for whatever reason. That's the ultimate. Luckily, I had a trip within the trip because I was going to see family and friends back in my hometown. So I was able to have a great time nevertheless. But there's no way I can go back when they reschedule this thing. So you pay the price for the airline tickets. Yeah, again, I had a good time, but I'm not so sure if a couple of months ago I would have booked the trip to AC if I didn't have that combination with Bruce coming to Wells Fargo or to Citizens Bank Park. He was going to play outdoor concerts at the Phillies Park, home of the Phillies, and the weather was outstanding for the concerts. Unfortunately, no concert.
It's unfortunate.
It's bad enough if you drive, but when you fly, you're not getting that reimbursement. I mean, we'll get the money back for the tickets. That's not a problem.
I think you should write the boss and tell him.
I'm mad at the boss.
Say, listen, here's the deal. I flew up here to see you. You didn't play. I want my money back. You can afford it.
How about if I ask him to come to Memphis and just do a little concert at my house?
Well, you could try that too.
Think that would work?
I think you got a better chance of getting the money out of him.
Yeah, we're going to get the money back, but I'm not going to get the money from the boss for my airline tickets. That is come and gone. But other than that, again, the weather, look, it gets hot in the Northeast. I know it. I lived it. But I try to explain to people who have not been to the South how hot it is in the summer, and I don't think they could grasp really how hot it is because they give you the old, well, it's hot here. It's hot in Philly. It's hot in D.C. It's like 85 degrees with low humidity, and then you're on the shore, and you wear a jacket at night. Yeah, it's comparable. I didn't sweat. I'm on the beach for 5 days. I come back from the airport to get to my car, doing that little walk thing, soaking wet.
It's hot. It's going to be hot this week.
And you're going to need a pool. You can get a pool at Family Leisure. So anyway, that was my trip in a nutshell. Very good trip, but not a great trip because the boss. And again, I don't know anything. I haven't checked. I'm disappointed.
Have you sworn off the boss?
No, never. Never swear off the boss, because the boss, who is still...
let you down.
He did let me down. There's no question he let me down.
I'd swear him off if I was you. I'd be done with him.
No, he let me down, but he's come through many, many times because I've seen a lot of concerts. But this is a guy who certainly wasn't on his farewell tour. In fact, they've already talked about somebody who really follows Bruce Springsteen, who is among my friend's friends. I don't really know this guy, but he follows Springsteen around, goes to a bunch of concerts. He said they've already announced dates for 2024. So the boss isn't retiring anytime soon. So anyway.
Maybe he'll be able to cancel a concert on you next year.
I hope not. I certainly hope not. So that's what happened with me. How about around here? Anything going on? I saw there was a shooting at my Kroger of choice. That was nice. I have to watch my step walking in.
Probably there's that's not exactly an uncommon occurrence around here.
Yeah, but it was at my Kroger. Keep the riffraff out of my Kroger.
You may want to find a new Kroger, it's hard to find one.
My, oh my. Seeing that story, that was awful. So, did the Memphis football ticket story, was that already out by the time you were on the air yesterday?
Here's what I understand. Is there some other team doing this? Because we talked about this concept.
Yes.
Before.
Yes, there is another team doing it.
Who is that? So did they just steal it from somebody, basically?
They borrowed it.
Well, they stole it.
There's no question.
We had the conversation about this.
I
thought we talked about the University of Memphis.
Was it Boise State?
I don't know.
Zach, can you look that up?
I know we've had the conversation. So I actually thought I thought we had already talked about the University of Memphis doing this.
Oh, no.
When I first saw this, I was like, we've already talked about this thing. Why is it a big deal today?
Well, because it wasn't Memphis we talked about. It was another school. I think it was Boise. I might be wrong. And you and I both agreed that was a pretty cool concept. And I think we both said, this is something maybe Memphis should do. So Memphis is doing it. And we're going to have Jeff Crane on, so we'll talk more in depth about that. But I was thinking about it yesterday. What is a normal season ticket for the University of Memphis?
I don't know what they're at right now. And I don't, as far as where these seats are, I don't know what it would cost you.
Right, because I think are you in the corners?
Yeah, I believe so.
$60 initial investment, which is cheap. You're going to get, so let's say they want all their home games. You would have a season ticket for $60. $10 a game.
They don't even have to win the last one.
Don't even have to win the last one. You're right. So that's a great bargain. Now, Bethune-Cookman, that's a win. I'm trying to do the schedule off the top of my head. Remind me, the next home game would be Boise or Navy? Which one comes first? Wait, I got to look this up. So it's not an automatic you're beating Boise.
Arkansas State.
No, that's
home?
away.
You talking about at home?
Yeah.
It's Navy.
Yeah, so Navy, I think you should beat Navy.
And then you're on the road or home game against Missouri.
Right.
And then
Missouri's
home
not
against Boise State.
No, but it was originally scheduled to be Memphis home game. Okay.
Right.
And then what, Zach? And then Boise?
Boise.
Okay, so again, you should be able to beat, you better beat Bethune-Cookman, and I think you'll beat Navy. And Boise will be a tough challenge, but it's a winnable game. Then you got
Tulane.
Yeah. So then that's probably where it ends. We're going to do our University of Memphis predictions a week from tomorrow. Even though the schedule is very advantageous for Memphis. Tulane, you got them at home. You have a chance. You've played really well against them at home over the years. But who knows? Maybe that will go on all season long. But that's a pretty cool thing. But it is not a new idea. It's something that is out. And I believe it's Boise State. By the way, tomorrow, our SEC predictions will go over all 14 teams. Wins, losses, and come out with who we think will win the divisions in the SEC. Of course, next year, no division, 16 teams with the addition of Oklahoma and Texas. So since we're on the topic of football, by the way, the University of Memphis, 52-9 at home since 2014. So it's a pretty darn good run. They have protected that stadium. They have done incredibly well. So you got to feel pretty good with that investment. I just don't know what the ticket prices are for each individual home game. They're different, right? Or are they all the same?
Well, it depends where you're sitting.
No. I mean, for the opponent that they play.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Like, I'm looking, and again, I don't know where these ones they're selling exactly are, but like section 115, which is in a corner, a season ticket is $149.
Okay, so it's a good deal. I thought it was cheaper for some reason. I saw the number when I was on vacation last week, and they announced that the season ticket sales were, 11,000? Is that what it said? 11, 12,000?
They're at 11,000.
Wow. So they're on a push right now, and Jeff will talk about it. I'm surprised it's that low. Because wasn't it last year like 17?
No, this is like the same as last year.
Oh, was it really? I don't know why I thought it was more. But hopefully it will be more after this deal, which again, I think is a good move for any fan that's right now on the fence of wanting to go watch Memphis play. I mean, it's incredible. So we'll talk to Jeff about that. AP preseason All-America team came out yesterday. No surprise, Caleb Williams, the first-team quarterback out of USC. A chance? I mean, what would you give right now knowing that there's only been one back-to-back Heisman winner, Archie Griffin, and it's very, very rare for voters to vote the same guy in. There's been a couple close occasions, or pretty close, I would say, but nobody has done it since Archie, and Archie's the only one. What would you say right now Caleb Williams' chances are to go back-to-back?
I don't. I mean, he's got a decent chance. Obviously, he's got a coach who tends to produce Heisman Trophy-winning quarterbacks and an offense that leads to that. But I don't think he will.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he will either. I think there'll be some voters that purposely will not vote for him. But if USC runs roughshod through that schedule and they're in the playoff and Caleb Williams, for them to do that, Caleb Williams is going to be putting up numbers. Be interesting to see. So he's a first-team quarterback. Running backs are Blake Corum from Michigan, no surprise. Quinshon Judkins of Ole Miss, first team.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Tells you what kind of year he had as a freshman to be a first-team All-American as a sophomore in the preseason. Really, really impressive. And he had a great year and figures to have another great year this year. But that's the idea of going into last year when most people, I mean, he wasn't being talked about really. It was about Zach Evans and Ulysses Bentley IV. Mm-hmm. That idea that he would end up being a preseason first-team All-American as a sophomore, pretty incredible.
Yeah, with each passing week, he just got more and more publicity because he was playing more and more effectively. And then by the end of the season, you looked at this guy and go, my God, it's an All-American type running back. And there he is, preseason, first team. Second-team quarterback, again, no surprise, Drake May of North Carolina. Those are the two projected top quarterbacks going into the season. Doesn't mean that's where they'll end up. The two running backs on the second team, Braylon Allen from Wisconsin. There's always a Wisconsin running back. There has to be by law. And then Rocket Sanders from Arkansas. So you have two SEC running backs that are on the AP preseason All-America team, either the first or the second team.
Yeah, obviously Sanders, great year, great player. And, certainly I don't think any surprise that he would be on there at some, either first or second team. He could have been on there. But, it's could be a year of the running back in the SEC. And the idea, if you went to somebody and said, hey, the SEC's got two running backs All-American preseason, people are like, oh, who's Alabama got?
Exactly.
Who's Georgia got? But the fact that it's Ole Miss and Arkansas with those two, even you'd go, okay, LSU got somebody this year? No, it's like LSU, or to have Ole Miss and Arkansas be the two represented at running backs, that's a little different.
That's a good point. So Michigan has now self-imposed a 3-game ban for head coach Jim Harbaugh. He'll miss 3 cupcakes. We think. Who knows what's going on with that story? That's one of the strangest stories that I've ever seen. As the NCAA and Michigan had come, I thought, to an agreement for a 4-game suspension, and then the Committee on Infractions or whatever it was decided that nah, that's not good enough, pulled the plug on that. And so Michigan turns around and says, all right, I don't want this thing to linger. We're tired of it. We're going to
it's lingering. They just aren't going to get the penalties till next year, so they're just trying to get ahead of the game.
Right, but I mean, I wonder if a self-imposed 3-game suspension against Cupcakes will, in the end, once time goes on, suffice. Will that be enough? Are they going to turn around and go, we gave them already 3. We'll give you 1 more to start 2024. I don't know who Michigan's going to play to start the season, but I guarantee it's not anybody tough. Or will they turn around and just say, all right, that's enough? It's just a strange story.
Well, most people believe he is going to get from the NCAA. He will get more than 3 games. So I think this is a get out in front of it. If we do 3 games now, a lot of people thought of a 6-game suspension, half a season.
Oh, really?
So if then they turn around and they wanted to do that, do they maybe only give him 3 because we've already given him 3? Which again, I don't know what their schedule will be for next year, but better chance that if you only serve 3 games at the beginning of the year, you don't have to worry about missing any big games than if you have to serve 6 games all in one season. So I think this is Michigan hoping to get a little favor from NCAA and that, hey, we got out in front of this and did this and be a little more lenient than what you guys were going to be because he's already served 3 games.
Michigan's first...
Give him time served on yours.
Right. Michigan's first 3 games this year, East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green. Last year, it was Colorado State, Hawaii, and Connecticut. So I guarantee you're going to have similar teams to open up the season next year. I'm waiting for the first time that the NCAA turns around and goes, even though you self-imposed penalties, we don't care. And then turn around and give him a 6-gamer to start next year. So you add it all up and he gets a 9-game suspension. I know that won't happen, but I would love to see that. I'm sorry, you're trying to get ahead of this thing? Nah, we're going to still give him the penalty that we wanted to give them. Or give him. From the NFL, I hate this. The Colts have given Jonathan Taylor, his agent, permission to seek a trade. There will be a lot of teams that will be interested in bringing in Jonathan Taylor. What Jim Irsay has done with that whole situation, what a debacle for the Colts. I mean, if anything, Anthony Richardson needs that guy you can depend on in the backfield. And yes, he did get banged up last year. I understand that. The year prior was an incredible year. Jonathan Taylor still has a lot left in the tank. You need to have that steady Eddie in the backfield. And because his demands and Irsay's ego, he's on the trading block.
Yeah, certainly he's a fantastic player. There will be a lot of teams interested in him. I don't know how many teams are going to be willing to pay the price that apparently the Colts want. If the Colts believe they're going to get something like Carolina got for Christian McCaffrey, that's probably not going to happen. So that's going to be it'll be interesting what ends up playing out and if they do trade him, what they have to end up settling for.
Do you think they could straight up get a first rounder for him?
No.
So it's going to be the package. And you're right. How good would the package be for Irsay to say yes to the trade?
If he was under contract for longer, you might be able to get because McCaffrey was, I think, 2 seconds and then something. I can't remember what it was. There was no first rounders, but it was a combination of picks that you would say equal a first rounder. But he was under contract. You're talking about a guy that you not only have to trade for, but then you have to decide you're going to have to give an extension to or tag him for next year or whatever. Again, we know what's going on with running backs, so I don't know how many teams are going to – they're not going to want to pay him either. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know what the market will be for a guy who you're getting for 1 year, and then you're going to be in that same spot of, are we willing to pay Jonathan Taylor, or are we going to be to this point where he doesn't want to play here?
It's the NFL version of James Harden, except Harden, or at least Jonathan Taylor right now, hasn't come out publicly and said Jim Irsay's a liar. That's the only difference. Same situation. You make a trade, the team that is interested in Harden has to make sure that Harden's going to want to re-up with him or re-up with them. And so it makes it a lot tougher. 49ers, according to reports, are signing free agent wide receiver Anthony Miller. Pride of Christian Brothers High School and the University of Memphis. So hopefully Anthony will be able to catch on with the Niners. And then also last night, week 2 of the NFL preseason was put to bed as the Ravens' winning streak in the preseason was snapped on a last-second field goal. I guess a few seconds left in the game by the Commanders' Joey Slay. 29-28. That ends a 24-game Ravens preseason winning streak. The Commanders were going crazy like they had just won the Super Bowl. Depression for the Ravens. I don't know if they'll ever get over it. I've never seen a preseason game that, like, both teams thought it had actual meaning. I'm kidding about the Ravens, by the way.
It was actually, I actually watched the end of, like, the last bit of that game because it was actually fun because while the starters weren't out there, like, both teams were really trying hard to win the game. Like, it was interesting to watch, guys. Like, when the dude from the Ravens made the tackle on the 2-point conversion after the touchdown that would have tied the game, like, he was going crazy. They were going crazy. Like, they were like, hey, they thought they had just preserved the winning streak and they were going to win their 25th in a row. Then they ended up giving the ball back. Like, it was fun to watch. Like, teams that really cared about trying to win a preseason football game.
Lamar Jackson did not play as expected, but Sam Howell did and was very effective for the Commanders. They're pretty excited about Sam Howell.
That is one of the winning 24 straight preseason games is just bizarre.
It's bizarre. It's very bizarre. It means nothing, but it's bizarre.
No rhyme or reason to it. But it would be one thing to win like 10 in a row. Like, winning 24 straight preseason games is just such a strange occurrence. It had to come to an end. So, like, you can't just win every preseason game you play. Well, again, you're not playing. It's not like you're playing your starters every game and nobody else is, so you just go out and win. Like, it's so bizarre that happened. They won 24 straight preseason games.
They now play 3 preseason games. They played 3 last year. I'm not sure when they switched was from 4 to 3, except for those teams that play in the Hall of Fame game. But it used to be 4. But do the math. That's a lot of years of going undefeated in the preseason.
Yeah, they were doing it last night on ESPN. I think Lamar Jackson was I can't remember what year they said he was at Louisville.
He was in diapers.
The last time they and who was the other? They had something on there, like somebody that was like still in high school or something like that that was on the team like the last time they lost a preseason game.
Was Flacco the quarterback, even though he probably didn't play in the game?
I would assume, it had to be.
That's why.
Who was because Flacco was right before Lamar, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it had to be.
Wow.
Because Lamar was still at Louisville. I know that.
Well, speaking of NFL, snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in free bets. That's guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads and player props, over-unders, and much, much more. Just in time for the always exciting NFL season. So visit FanDuel.com/Gasman and get off the NFL season, or kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the National Football League. Must be 21 or over. Present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline. That's TN Redline, 1-800-889-9789. We're talking SEC football with Connor O'Gara. He's next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hotsy Pressure Washers and Detail Supplies of Memphis takes it all off. They are the #1 cleaning and equipment provider, period. Big or small, Hotsy has the solution. From hot water and cold water pressure washers to industrial soaps and detail supplies, Hotsy has you covered. For our Sports 56 fans, you get 20% off all detail products, so don't miss out on this amazing deal. Call Hotsy today, 901-379-0550, or visit their showroom, conveniently located at Austin P and I-40.
The Dell Technologies Back to School event is on, with deals on top tech for class, hobbies, and more. Now, when you buy, you support a cause. With every eligible purchase, Dell will donate to UNICEF in support of GIGA, a UNICEF ITU global initiative to connect schools across the globe to the internet. Accidental damage protection included. Get rare deals on select laptops and desktops powered by the latest Intel Core processors. Save now at Dell.com/deals. UNICEF does not endorse any company, brand, product, or service.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, I want to talk about our seasoning and sauce today. Our sauce is a great blend of sweet, mustard, and vinegar. It's good on so many items other than barbecue. It's good on pizza. People use it in lieu of ketchup. But our seasoning is the original dry rub, created by my father using a mixture of Greek and Cajun spices. People think our sauce and seasoning are good just during the grilling season. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's good year-round. Our seasoning is good on fish, chicken, deviled eggs, corn on the cob, French fries. People even put a dash in a Bloody Mary. To get a complete list of all of our recipes using our products, go to hogsfly.com, click recipes, and you'll see 50 wonderful items and dishes. And Brett, our sauce and seasoning is available at most grocery stores, and if they don't have it, please remind your grocer to stock it. And our slaw is also available at most Kroger stores.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Innovation Refunds has helped thousands of small businesses with their ERC tax refunds. The ERC is a tax refund for businesses that kept employees on payroll for parts of 2020 and 2021. If you own a business with more than 5 employees, you could have money waiting to be claimed. Have you started the application for the ERC but didn't finish it? Innovation Refunds can help you finish today, even if you started your filing with another company. Partner with their dedicated team of independent tax attorneys to complete your ERC application with confidence and peace of mind today. Innovation Refunds does not provide tax or legal advice. They work with an independent network of tax professionals and will share information with them to evaluate and process your claims. Terms and conditions apply. Go to innovationrefunds.com, see if you qualify. There is no upfront charge. They don't get paid unless you get paid. Call 1-843-REFUNDS, 1-843-REFUNDS, or go to innovationrefunds.com.
Your favorite Italian pasta company in Delhi, Lucchese's, now ships. For over 25 years, Memphis has trusted Lucchese's to feed their loved ones, and now they've crafted 3 great comfort food meals that can be shipped across the country to your friends and family. Enjoy lasagna, ravioli, spaghetti, Italian spinach, and delicious sauces with no MSG, no preservatives, and no artificial colors. All you need to do is go to lucchese's.com to place your order or call 901-766-9922. Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Right now, we got a handful of accidents this morning. Accident on Dexter Road at Germantown Parkway. That's Dexter Road at Germantown Parkway. They have closed off Dogwood between Radford Ridge and Pinnacle Creek. They're removing a tree there. Accident on Chulahoma at Knight Arnold. I-55 north at Winchester. The left 2 lanes are blocked there, so expect delays. That's I-55 north at Winchester. The left 2 lanes are blocked. And then accident on Holmes at Sweeney. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 7:30 the time, just underway on this Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023. College football is upon us. And guess what? We get to talk to Connor O'Gara.
It's time to talk some SEC and college football. Joining Greg and Eli is Connor O'Gara from SaturdayDownSouth.com and SaturdayTradition.com. Here's Connor O'Gara with Greg and Eli.
If you missed it over the summer, Connor and his lovely wife had a child. So the senior national columnist for Saturday Down South and the host of the Saturday Down South podcast is now a busy, busy man. But He's gracious enough to join us. He's going to join us every other week during the college football season to get great insight. You can follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. So this week he's on, and he joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. How are you, Papa?
I'm doing well, guys. It's been a hot minute. It's good to be back. Life has certainly changed in my neck of the woods, but the thing that never changes is football season. Well, I guess it did kind of change drastically, and we're about to enter a very new era of the sport. But other than that, yeah, nothing's changed.
How are things going for you with the little one?
Well, we're doing well. She's been good to us. She really has. I mean, she is like the baby that rises to the occasion. If we go somewhere, she sleeps well through the night. You know, day naps are what they are. Take what you can get. But other than that, I mean, she's eating well. She's been a very good baby, and it's definitely made us think like, oh, if we ever have another one, the other one is just going to be a terror, and it's going to be so difficult. So she set the bar high.
Well, good for you. Congratulations. It's a whole different world. Before we dive into the SEC, what have you heard from your insiders, from people in the know about what is going to happen to the remnants of the Pac-12? Because we've heard so many different stories, and I bring it up only because you've heard maybe they'll come together with the American Conference, or maybe they'll come together with the Mountain West. I would imagine sooner than later we're going to have to find out about those 4 schools, and they're trying everything they can to stay a power.
I mean, do the 4 schools know what they're going to do? That's the real question. I don't think they know. I don't think they have any idea. And for all the talk about realignment in college football, this is kind of the first instance where we've seen an entire conference break down, and we've seen just a fraction of that conference be left to pick up the pieces. So it's uncharted waters that we're talking about here, but I have to imagine that eventually we're going to see 2 of these teams, perhaps Cal and Stanford, join the Big Ten. I think we'll eventually get there. That makes sense from an alignment standpoint, and the Big Ten is all about, aligning academically, even though they kind of ignored that with Nebraska. But I do think that you're looking at a very interesting, unique situation that I don't think that we've ever really seen before, and I don't think they know what they fully want to do yet. So I'm a little bit in wait-and-see mode, and obviously we've had a lot of different things that have come out, like, oh, maybe they're going to go to the ACC. Maybe they're going to join with the Mountain West. I think we're going to see a couple of teams go to the Big Ten, and maybe a couple of teams try and go independent or something, or maybe join with the Mountain West. But it seems like there are any number of outcomes that can still happen.
Along the lines of this, Greg Sankey coming out and talking about the fact that they have to look at the expanded playoff format, which is no surprise. There's no way in the world that the SEC and Big Ten are going to be satisfied with a 6-6 format if you lost a Power 5 conference. They meet next week. I think they meet again in September. Do you believe it'll be as simple as they just go to a 5-7, or do you think there's more changes made than that on what that format will be for selecting the teams?
I think they'll settle on 5-7, though I wish they wouldn't. I mean, we've got 2 decades worth of data to tell us that not all conferences are created equally. I mean, the SEC champion has played in a national championship 16 of the last 17 years. The Big Ten is sitting there with 2 national championships won in the entire 21st century. They won the first college football playoff with Ohio State that first season in 2014, and they've won 1 playoff game since then. The Big 12 finally just got its first playoff victory last year. The Pac-12 hasn't won a playoff game since 2000, or hasn't even reached the playoff since 2016. Haven't won a playoff game since 2014. Why are we telling ourselves that all conferences are created equal? They're simply not. So I would love to see a world in which they could just say, you know what, let's just trust the selection committee. 12 highest ranked teams make it into the college football playoff, regardless of what conference. I don't think the other conferences are going to agree to that. I don't think the Big 12 will agree to that. I think the Big 12 has something to be said for it, but I do think that it'll end up being the 5 highest ranked conference champions and then the 7 next highest ranked teams.
Well, and the thing too with as you said, the problem with trying to do just all at large is you would never get the group of 5 conferences to agree to that. And you got to get everybody on the same page. So, yeah, it seems like Sankey is trying to set it like, listen, we got to look. And yes, in the end, that will set the table to agree. Like, listen, we'll still give you guys a chair, but but we're not going to give you 2. Like there's no way we're getting 6-6 here. We cannot have 6 conference champions when we've lost one of the Power 5 conferences.
Exactly. And look, Power 5 is going to be a term that probably stays in the 4-team era, or at least it should. This is the last real year that we should be talking about what Power 5 truly means. It'll just be maybe just the power conferences as it'll be known in the future. But it's kind of good, though, that this is forcing us to reevaluate things, because even if the Pac-12 didn't lose these most 2 recent teams with Oregon and Washington, I still think it should have been reevaluated. I mean, I really do. Like, do we really think that the Pac-12, whatever was left of it, I guess the 10 teams that were left of it, were going to be worthy of an automatic bid? I didn't think so. I didn't think that was necessarily fair. And it's essentially an automatic bid if you look at it from the standpoint of the highest-ranked conference champs. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see the way that this plays out. But I'm glad that they're at least using this very significant change in the sports landscape to reevaluate how this playoff is going to look moving forward.
Connor O'Gara joining us. Again, he'll join us every other week during the college football season. You can read him at Saturday Down South. Check out the SDS podcast as well. Follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. I'm looking at the trusty SEC football schedule we have posted here in the studio. And since we won't talk to you again until after week 1 games, there's a few interesting matchups. Obviously, that LSU-Florida State matchup stands out. Tennessee will play Virginia. So we won't have you on until those games are played. What do you think about some of the first week? Of course, Hawaii and Vanderbilt will play week 0 this weekend. But what do you think about some of the better matchups involving SEC teams in week 1?
I'm going to be there for LSU, Florida State, the grudge match that's down here in my neck of the woods in Orlando. I can't wait for that on Sunday night. I love that Brian Kelly always finds a way to play on Sunday night. It's weird how that has just lined up over the years. That game's going to be awesome because those 2 teams last year were such a mess in that week 1 opener. And then you look at what they did down the stretch. Nobody would have predicted that those 2 teams would end up with double-digit victories as preseason top 10 teams going into this year with a huge showdown in Orlando that I think is really going to change the narrative of what these last 8 months have been for these 2 teams. I mean, there was a lot of momentum for LSU to be picked to repeat to win the West. And with Jaden Daniels coming back, leading this offense, Harold Perkins after the breakout year he had, Mason Smith, who's the best guy that the casual college football fan isn't aware of yet, but will be really, really soon. There is a lot of momentum for LSU to win the West, perhaps even stun Georgia, win the SEC, and get to the college football playoff. And Florida State, I mean, they're the ultimate good vibes team. They were number 1 in Bill Connolly's percentage of returning production. They returned everybody, made some big moves in the transfer portal with Keon Coleman from Michigan State, with Jaheim Bell from South Carolina. There's a lot to like with Florida State. Seeing these 2 teams and seeing how quickly we change what we've been saying about them for 8 months is going to be fascinating. That's the one I'm looking forward to most. And obviously, Florida going up to Utah. Utah is America's team, and everybody will be tuned into that one on Thursday night. Will Cam Rising play? Will he not? Billy Napier get a massive win. I'm looking forward to seeing that as well.
Do you believe LSU will win the West again?
No, I don't. I think Bama will.
Okay.
And look, I'll be the first to admit it's just blind faith in Saban. It is. I can't point to specific things on this team other than to say I think the running game is going to be really good. The talk in Tuscaloosa is that they're getting back to joyless murder ball, as they call it, with Tommy Rees as the new offensive coordinator. I think the quarterback situation, as murky as it still is, as troubling as it is that it's still murky, will get figured out. I do think Ty Simpson's going to be the guy. I think the defense has a chance to get back to that elite level with Kevin Steele now running things in place of Pete Golding. So, yeah, I'm a believer that Alabama, a team that, look, every single time they're picked to not win the SEC, all they do is go out and win the SEC and then win a national championship. That's what's happened the last 3 times, 2009, 2012, 2015, that has been the case. So, no, I didn't want to be the person to pick against Alabama and then feel really dumb at the end of the season. So I just went with the blind faith of Nick Saban and picked the Tide to beat LSU.
Look, we know Bama will be there. We know LSU will be there. I'm getting ready to do a talk on Sunday night, and every year I do this talk, and every year I'm not sure what I want to say about Texas A&M. Is this the year with Bobby Petrino? I guess running the offense. Who knows what Jimbo will let him do? Is this the year they're actually battling tooth and nail with those 2 teams I just mentioned?
Yes, I have A&M going 9-3. and this is it for me. This is my ultimatum. If you can't take advantage of all the things working in your favor this year, A&M, I'm done with you. I'm just done with you in this era with Jimbo Fisher as your head coach, because all the pieces are lined up perfectly. Once upon a time, about 2 years ago, I was saying this was a national championship window for A&M. And I looked at what happened last year, and I was like, my goodness, this is atrocious. This offense will never win a national championship. Jimbo Fisher still hasn't had an all-conference quarterback since Jameis Winston. They haven't had a top 30 passing offense since Jameis Winston. So what does he do? He brings in Robert Patrick Petrino, the guy who everybody in college football knows is still an offensive wizard. And if you don't, maybe you missed what he was doing against Arkansas last year in that game with Missouri State. I think that all that five-star talent that A&M has is able to actually look like five-star talent on the field. Their receiver room is darn good. It's the best that Jimbo Fisher's had since he's been there. Their offensive line should be very reminiscent of that 2020 group that kind of was the foundation of that team. And defensively, their entire defensive line is these five-star guys who are ready to break out. Like this should be a really, really good team. I am going 9-3, reluctantly so. If they don't, Jimbo Fisher's not getting fired. They're not paying him $76.8 million. But I am a believer that A&M bounces back this year.
So, who is your picks for in the preseason now for the playoff?
So I don't feel particularly good about this. I'm going to admit this now, but I have Ohio State, I have Georgia, I have Clemson, and I have Washington. Now, I know, yeah. I always got to go one off the radar Pac-12 team. Last year, I was banging the drum for Utah, who is still America's team. That didn't really work out.
I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, but this year, I'm all in on Washington and what they return with Kalen DeBoer, a program that didn't have a single guy drafted and could be this year's version of TCU after all the success that they had that season, turning things around so quickly. They have the pieces in place, a bunch of veterans all over the field for them to be able to make that jump. I'm a believer that what Clemson did by going out and getting Garrett Riley and not just settling for status quo. I've accused Dabo Swinney of dying more than adapting way too much in an adapt or die business. I think he's finally adapting in the way that he needs to. Ohio State, I have winning a national championship against Georgia, who's going to start off 13-0, but yeah, I think that this year is going to present a couple of those bounce-back type years, one of which being for Clemson, and then Ohio State getting its revenge after what happened last year in Atlanta against Georgia.
Do you? What is it about Michigan that you don't like? Is it just the fact that you think Ohio State will beat them and that'll knock them out of it?
Yeah. Here's the thing that I can't get on board with Michigan, that Michigan fans are not willing to listen to while they wear their multiple items of flair in public. I don't know why they always have to do that. They always have to wear at least two pieces of Michigan gear. Seriously, like, think about that. Next time you see a Michigan fan in public, you're going to know they're going to be wearing Michigan socks and Michigan shorts. Like, why do they always need to be wearing at least two pairs of flair? Two pieces of flair. It makes no sense. But here's what I don't like. Michigan, for all that it has done the last 2 years, great things. Being able to get to the college football playoff, just steamroll the Big Ten. To have only lost one Big Ten game in the last 2 years, a round of applause to Jim Harbaugh. It's not the suspension. It's the fact that Michigan, the last 6 years, has faced 7 teams outside of the Big Ten at the Power 5 level who have gone to bowl games. Michigan is 1-6 in those games. They're 1-6. Beat somebody outside of the Big Ten who isn't Ohio State. Don't puke on your shoes when you get a matchup against TCU. That should be really favorable. Don't puke on your shoes when you face Georgia and you claim that you have the best offensive line in college football and then you get totally shut down. Do something against somebody that isn't in the Big Ten and then talk to me. And that's, to me, the biggest issue that I have with this team getting that way too early buzz, because I agree. Look, preseason top 5 in the country in percentage of returning production with a team that went to the playoff, that's unheard of. But I just have something in there that's holding me back from saying that Michigan's going to get over the hump.
I just wonder about Ohio State because they still haven't figured out the quarterback situation. It looks like they have 2 good ones, but get that thing down before you get that season going. I'm not sure if they'll have that settled before the season starts.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have it settled 2014, going into the college football
playoff.
Yeah, it worked out all right.
They used 2 or 3 guys that year, didn't they? I mean, I'm trying to remember. That was with Cardell Jones and those guys?
and J.T. Barrett and Braxton Miller.
Yeah.
They had 3 starting quarterbacks. Here's the thing. Like, that's the thing I don't worry about with Ohio State. When was the last time Ohio State had a middle-of-the-pack quarterback?
Right.
Think about that.
Right.
I mean, it's been forever. All they do is win Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year, lead a team to either a Big Ten championship or you're at least in a conversation when that Michigan game rolls around. I think Ohio State makes improvements. I think the Jim Knowles hire that Ryan Day made last year actually paid off in a lot of ways, and I think they should be better up front with the pieces they return on that defensive line. I think they make that next step this year. I think they win that game in Ann Arbor, and I think they get to the college football playoff.
He is the senior national columnist for Saturday Down South, host of the STS podcast. He is Connor O'Gara. You can follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. Catch him every other week here talking sports, talking SEC football specifically right here on Sports 56 Mornings. Connor, have a great 2 weeks. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. Enjoy that game you'll be covering.
Sounds good. Really appreciate it, guys.
Take care.
Folks, have you discovered Genesis Diamonds yet? Well, if not, you need to, especially if you're in the market for diamonds. It's right there in their name, Genesis Diamonds. Diamonds are their specialty. Now, it's not all about diamonds. It's diamonds and other fine jewelry, including pre-owned Rolex watches as well. But the specialty, no doubt about it, is diamonds. They are a direct diamond importer. They come straight from the cutters. No middleman means huge savings. They'll beat anybody's price easily on comparable diamonds, whether it be natural or lab grown. They've got no commission salespeople. They will help you through the buying process. They're not there to pressure you to try and buy the most expensive thing in the store because they're not on commission. It's very easy. They will help you, not try and sell you. They've got the strongest warranties and guarantees in the industry. Plus, they've got a great upgrade policy where you buy a ring from them, maybe a few years later, you want to upgrade to a little bit bigger diamond on that. Well, they're going to give you up to 120% on your old ring towards the new ring. That's how much they believe in their stuff and how much they believe in what they're selling you and the prices they're selling them at. An amazing showroom located in the Poplar Commons Shopping Center, Poplar and Perkins Extended, right there in the middle of that shopping center. And before you buy anywhere else, just go give them a try. Go check them out. You'll be blown away. You'll be amazed by the experience you have at Genesis Diamonds.
All right, when we come back, since we're on the topic of SEC football, predictions on the upcoming season of where those teams from the SEC will go bowling. Who will make it to the playoff? This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Douglas is a real Prevagen user and paid testimonialist.
My name is Douglas. I'm 79 and I live in Chicago. I'm a writer, director. I used to be a marathon runner. Now I'm a walker. And the kind of work that I do, you are surrounded by people who are all younger than you. Memory became a factor. As everyone gets older, where did I put my keys? But I had to get help to stay competitive. I happened across Prevagen and I started taking it. I saw myself having an improved memory, which at the same time, I felt better about myself. I could not be doing what I'm doing today had it not been for Prevagen.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life. Prevagen is available in stores everywhere. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who were cognitively normal or mildly impaired.
These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. from restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Purchase a new energy-efficient heating and cooling system from Conway Services today and get up to $1,750 back plus a free Nest thermostat when Conway Services buys back your old, inefficient HVAC system. Guaranteed service and flexible payment options are great reasons to call Conway Services today.
Visit conwayservices.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 64210, 64365 EAS, MS 19668.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
A new era in public safety begins with you. Be the change you want to see. Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo, Saturday, August 26, 2023, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We'll be taking applications, performing basic testing, and interviewing candidates on site. Free parking will be located at Poplar Avenue and Front Street. Salary starting at $60,700. Benefits include a $15,000 sign-on bonus, up to $10,000 relocation assistance. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop, here on Sports 56, real sports talk.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So we're talking SEC football with Connor O'Gara. This is just one publication's prediction, but Athlon Sports has their bowl projections. And so they have projected that 12 of the 14 SEC schools will go bowling. Now, if you counted Oklahoma and Texas, that would be 14 of the 16. But the two not projected to go to a bowl game, Vanderbilt, although they showed signs of life last year and probably will show some improvement this year. The other one being Florida. They do not think Florida will get the 6 wins. Got them at 5 and 7. The bowl projections: Birmingham Bowl, Mississippi State; the Citrus Bowl, Tennessee; Duke's Mayo Bowl, Kentucky; Gasparilla Bowl, Auburn. It'll be interesting to see what happens in Hugh Freeze's first year. For Ole Miss, they got them going to the Gator Bowl; the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Missouri; the Music City Bowl, Arkansas. So if that prediction about Missouri is correct, they will play at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium this year. ReliaQuest Bowl, South Carolina; Texas Bowl, Texas A&M; Peach Bowl, LSU. So they don't believe LSU will make the playoff. In the playoff, they got Alabama taking on Michigan, and Georgia. That, by the way, was the Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Georgia at USC. Just one publication being Athlon Sports and their projections for the SEC.
I love Connor. I respect his opinion. If Washington is in the playoff, I will be shocked.
I will too.
They play at USC. They play at Oregon State. They got a game at Michigan State. Now, Michigan State isn't what they have been, obviously, but at Michigan State in the non-conference. I like Michael Penix and all that stuff, but I do not see Washington as a playoff team or anywhere close to a playoff team.
No, I love Michael Penix Jr. He's fantastic. He's fun to watch, but USC has Caleb Williams. They're in that conference. If USC can't get it done this year, I would be shocked. So, no, I think that Washington prediction is off base. But again, like he said, he usually throws in a curveball. Clemson, though. Clemson is one that people are not talking about. They're talking about Bama. They're talking about Georgia, even LSU from the SEC. They're obviously talking about Michigan and Ohio State and USC. But Clemson, what about them?
Clemson certainly can. Kate Klubnik is a fantastic quarterback, and they certainly have plenty of talent elsewhere around him, and that wouldn't surprise me at all if Clemson is in the playoff. I think Florida State is better than them. However, they host Florida State, so they get the advantage in that. But I'm not going to be surprised at all if Clemson, and so I'm not going to be surprised if Clemson ends up being the ACC champion. And I would, if they are the ACC champion, probably a pretty decent chance that they get in. What is their non-conference? Who do they do? Obviously, they have South Carolina, which actually they get that. That's a pretty good win for this year. Who else does Clemson have in the non-conference? Where the heck is Clemson?
Oh, by the way, as you look that up, do you think a Florida State loss to LSU knocks them out, eliminates them?
No. I think if they run the table after that, they could still very well get in. Let's see. So Clemson, Charleston Southern, not going to do anything. Florida Atlantic, not going to do anything for them. South Carolina. Oh, then they got Notre Dame. They get Notre Dame.
Okay.
So, they've got Notre Dame as a home game at South Carolina. Yeah, if Clemson's undefeated, they would be in. A one-loss Clemson ACC champion would still probably have a chance, pretty decent chance to get in as well. So, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Washington would surprise me.
When we come back, we got some golf to talk about. We got NBA aplenty. Also, another tragic story from the world of sports. And the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame announces its class. We will go over that. Then at 8:25, Jeff Crane will join us from the University of Memphis. We got Humdinger's Trivia to start off the hour. And I did want to tell you that tomorrow's 5 favorite things topic. Since I was at the beach this past week, your 5 favorite beaches you've been to. 5 favorite beaches you have been to from anywhere around the world. Get that together.
Some beach somewhere.
Some beach somewhere. You've been to a few beaches here recently. So your 5 favorite beaches of all time that you've been to for tomorrow's 5 favorite things. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Are you ready to conquer the great outdoors? Come in today and gear up with the dependable Suzuki King Quad ATV, because there's no rest for the rugged. Its unparalleled combination of power, versatility, and reliability allow you to tackle the toughest terrains with ease. And right now, there are lots of ways to help you hit the trail, including low APR financing and low monthly payments for qualified buyers, discounts for the military and first responders, and more. Roll into Olive Branch Motorsports in Olive Branch, Mississippi, and experience the Suzuki King Quad ATV's unmatched capabilities today.
Response to the all-new Genesis Diamonds has been incredible. People are loving what we brought to Memphis. Genesis is a different kind of jewelry store, with more jewelry than you've ever seen in one place, at prices you never thought possible. What's the Genesis secret? Our owner was born and raised in the diamond industry in Tel Aviv. After selling wholesale to high-end jewelry retailers for years, he hated the insane markups they were getting away with. So he stopped selling to the stores and started selling direct to the public. That philosophy is still a core part of Genesis DNA, as we continue to sell the highest quality diamonds at true no-middleman direct importer prices. With international connections and massive buying power, Genesis has what it takes to beat anyone else's price every day on every diamond. Discover the Genesis difference, forever changing how people in Memphis buy diamonds and fine jewelry. Now open at Poplar and Perkins, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans.
There's only one place for great steaks, real Italian cuisine, Southern-style meats, and fresh vegetables. It's Fratello's. Fratello's Italian Steakhouse in Hernando has a family feel and a fantastic menu. Voted DeSoto's best new restaurant in 2022, Fratello's has your favorite cuts of prime steak, lamb, and pork, along with delicious Italian dishes. And nothing is better for lunch than Southern-style meats and veggies. All your favorites and more are waiting for you at Fratello's Italian Steakhouse, Highway 51 in Hernando.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their product. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
You want the hottest summer deals in the Mid-South? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. 41 MPG Highway, we got it in 2023 Kia Forte LXS. $249 a month, $29.99 due at signing. Get SUV action in 2023 Nero EV Wind. 253 miles of EPA estimated range. $292 a month, $49.99 due at signing. Or 2023 Kia EV6 Wind with up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGE. Only $425 a month, $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month leases. Plus, Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte PE 659,993. MSRP 22,540. Nero P 501,5237. MSRP 41,390. EV6 P 560,3393. MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for details. Offer valid through 9/5/23. Dealer stock only. Warranties a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Sports 56 traffic.
Right now, they have blocked off Dogwood between Radford and Pinnacle Creek as they are removing a tree there. So use another route to get around there. Chulahoma at Night Arnold, accident there. I-55 North at Winchester. The left 2 lanes are blocked there. Holmes Road at Sweeney. And then new accident on I-55 North at Holmes Road. So 2 accidents on I-55 North. So just please give yourself some time if you're using that interstate. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:03 the time. Hour 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd coming at you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently, we're under an excessive heat warning, a heat advisory as well. And to top that off, air quality alert through Tuesday at 5:30. Currently at 82 degrees. But it feels like 89 with the humidity at 77%. Looking at a high today of right around 100. Mostly clear skies tonight, low of 79. And again, a mostly sunny, hot and humid 100-degree day tomorrow, and it will get even warmer as the week progresses. Hour 2 of the program brought to you by our friends at James Gaddis Jewelers. I'll tell you a little bit more about them later on in the hour, but right now it's time for some Humdingers trivia.
That's right. Each and every Tuesday, we give you an opportunity to win a $25 gift certificate to Humdingers. And, of course, on Tuesdays as well means Taco Tuesday at Humdingers. Their chicken and fish tacos are just $2 each all day long, each and every Tuesday over at Humdingers. And those are big old delicious tacos for just $2. That is a heck of a deal. Of course, you throw in one of their great sides, maybe with those, maybe a little rice, maybe some of their fries, whatever it is you want to do. Of course, if you don't want the tacos, plenty of other options, great options on that menu. All the different grilled fish options that they have with the great toppings and the great sides and everything else. The crispy fish and chips. You've got sandwiches, you've got salads, you've got all kinds of great stuff that you could check out over at Humdingers. If you need an event catered, they can do that for you as well. All you got to do to check out the menu is go to humdingersrestaurant.com, humdingersrestaurant.com. Of course, you'll find them at Poplar and Massey. That's where Humdingers is located. Get on by, enjoy some of that delicious, healthy food that you find over at Humdingers. If you are the first to answer the trivia question correctly, well, then you'll win a $25 gift certificate to Humdingers. All you got to do to answer the question is text in your answer 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. Text in the answer on the Sports 56 listener line, and again, the first correct answer will get the $25 gift certificate to Humdingers. Here is today's question. The FIBA World Cup getting set to get underway this weekend. Team USA will play on Saturday, their first game. Of course, Jared Jackson Jr., a part of Team USA for the FIBA World Cup. Which NBA team has the most players on the World Cup rosters? Which NBA team has the most players playing in the FIBA World Cup? Text in 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. Which NBA team has the most players on FIBA World Cup basketball rosters? Text in those answers. First correct answer gets the $25 gift certificate to Humdingers.
The Memphis Sports Hall of Fame class of 2023, I'm not sure if it was announced previously. I don't think it was, but it's out now, and there will be a ceremony at AutoZone Park coming up. I'm not sure of the date, but it will honor 11 new members to the Hall of Fame. And that class will include a friend of ours, Allie Prescott III, also Hubie Brown, former Memphis Grizzlies head coach, NBA Coach of the Year. Also in this group, Sheila Eccles-Gross, who won a gold as a sprinter in the '88 Olympic Games. El Marone, you know her field house very well. The late, great Jack Eaton, who certainly played his part in local broadcasting, both with Action News 5, but right here on Sports 56 as well. Good friend Tamika Whitmore, played with the Memphis women's basketball program. Coach Richard Mulrooney, he is in. Sylvester Ford, Phil Clark, great baseball coach. Sharon Watson, and Marion Brenner. We want to congratulate everyone. The Memphis Sports Hall of Fame ceremony, it will be on October 10th. Thank you, Jarvo. October 10th at AutoZone Park. That's your class of 2023. Again, congratulations to all.
Yeah, absolutely. Great class, as always, and great thing that they're doing with that and continue to add folks to that. So congratulations to those great folks.
Yeah, and I like what they do. It's like, and I don't know all the criteria. I'm not a member of the committee that votes in the Hall of Fame class. However, as you know, it's not just people born in Memphis. In fact, with Hubie Brown, right, he only lived here while he coached here, but he made an impact on Memphis sports. So I assume that's what it is those that have made an impact on Memphis sports, because, again, you know, otherwise Hubie Brown wouldn't be a part of the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame, but his impact with the Grizzlies being here in Memphis, makes an awful lot of sense. Steph Curry was on the Gilbert Arenas podcast the other day, maybe yesterday, and he was asked who the best point guard in the history of the game is, and he said, well, it's Magic and me. End of conversation. Is it the end of conversation? I love Steph Curry. I think Steph Curry should get more accolades, more acknowledgement of being maybe a top 10 greatest player of all time. He's never on those lists, and maybe he should be. But as far as point guards are concerned, Magic Johnson, Steph Curry, makes a lot of sense to me. I think he's missing Oscar Robertson, of course, before his time. Magic was really before his time, too, to be honest with you, but we're going way back with the Big O. I think he's missing Oscar. But other than that, there's been great point guards, but I don't know if there's anybody else that would be in that class. So even though it sounds a little egotistical, I think he's right on.
I mean, I think Magic is the correct answer, but if Steph wants to put himself in there, I have no problem with that.
Do you think we're getting close to a point where Steph Curry overtakes Magic Johnson?
No.
Are you just one of those guys that are just never going to change your mind about that?
I just think I don't believe Steph Curry will ever be Magic was Magic.
Magic was Magic. Magic was versatile as there ever was a player, playing every position possible. When Jabbar was out, when the captain was out, he played center, for goodness sakes. But Steph Curry's had a pretty darn good run, and I don't think anybody will argue he's the greatest outside shooter has ever played the game. Magic became a pretty good outside shooter as his NBA career went along, but certainly his vision, even though Curry has great vision and can dish it, nobody did it like Magic. But I think Steph Curry, I don't think it's too outlandish that he considers himself in Magic, end of conversation. But I don't think it's the end of the conversation. I think Oscar Robertson should be in that conversation. And then after that, there's tons of great point guards that have played the game. Isaiah Thomas, AI. Even Westbrook in his prime was damn good with those triple doubles he put up all the time.
Whoa, come on.
I said he was even damn
say
good.
Russell Westbrook in any conversation about the greatest point guard
I
of all
didn't, but
time.
I said even he was damn good. You're not going to say Russell Westbrook was damn good in his prime? Like damn good in his prime, doing things that only Oscar Robertson had done before him.
Do not include him in that conversation.
I know you're not one for predictions, so I won't dwell too much on this, but I saw the Grizzlies schedule come out when I was on vacation, and only 80 games are listed because of the whole play-in tournament, which I'm still not sold on the play-in
tournament.
Or the in-season tournament. I'm not sold yet on the in-season tournament. Maybe I will be once I see it, once I see these teams participate. Right now, on the outside looking in, as far as my opinion about it. But you got 80 games listed as opposed to the normal 82, but they will play 82. But I just saw those games. The first 25 listed. Again, there's going to be two. I know it's not the exact 25 that they're going to play before Ja returns. And I was just kind of throwing out some wins and losses, top of my head. This is before load management, injuries, all that stuff. But I had the Grizzlies at 14-11. 14-11 without Ja, which I don't think is crazy to think that they can finish.
But again, there's only
above 5.
Only 23 of the games listed are without Ja.
Right, but there will be 25, right?
Yeah,
Those games.
You don't know who the two opponents are. You're predicting a game. You don't even know who they're playing.
Did you just hear what I said? I said
again, are you predicting a game without knowing who they're playing?
I know. I just said I took the first 25 games of the season that are on their schedule, which is not going to be the first 25 exactly. I do know there's going to be 2 others as opposed to those last 2. I threw those on there just to round it out to 25 because Ja's going to miss 25 games. I'm just saying that you finish 3 games over 500, then I think that's a good number. Would you argue that? Like, what do you think is? I'm not going to say acceptable, but what do you think keeps you right in the mix?
Like, I think the hope is to be around 500.
Yeah. So a few games over 500, perfect.
If there are a few games over 500, it's fantastic. Anything over 500 is good.
From the world of college basketball, former Houston Cougars forward Reggie Chaney has passed away at the age of 23. Did not see any information on what happened. Reggie Chaney, believe it or not, began his career at the University of Arkansas. What the hell is happening with these sports figures that somehow are connected to the University of Arkansas? I've never seen anything like it.
It's been a tough stretch. I mean, it's like virtually unbelievable. And that's just, I still have not seen any information on what happened, but man, oh man, it's just way too many of these stories of people losing their life way, way too young. I mean, he was just getting ready to head over to Greece, I think it was, that he was going to be playing professional basketball, just starting his professional career. And now that will not happen. It's just absolutely awful, awful stuff.
Yeah, what was it, last week, Alex Collins, or in the last 10 days, whatever it was, and now you hear this news about Reggie Chaney. From the NBA, they are probing into the James Harden liar comments about Daryl Morey, the general manager of the 76ers. Of course, the two worked together in Houston, and I think worked pretty well together. Harden told the league when they asked him about the situation that his reference about calling him a liar was being told they will trade him quickly after he opted in for the 23-24 season. Not only have they not traded him quickly, Daryl Morey reneged and said that they're going to keep him. What is the NBA going to do? I don't even know why they're investigating this thing.
I think the investigation is more about exactly what the reference to lying, because if there were some things promised contract-wise from that, they could have there could be some illegalities of that about skirting salary cap things and stuff like that. So if Harden will continue to maintain it's just about the trade, then they're going to be fine. But if it is something about, well, they told me they were going to give me this contract, all of that stuff, there could be some stuff that is against league rules as far as trying to skirt salary cap stuff and things like that.
Right, but as it is, calling him a liar because they said they would trade him quickly, that's the NBA's, they're not going to do anything about that. That's between now the organization and Harden's representatives. Do you believe when the season starts, first of all, do you believe Harden will be in camp with the 76ers?
No.
No. There's no question, right? Do you believe he'll play any games with the 76ers?
No.
So you expect a trade to happen? Or do you expect him to hold out? If you're James Harden, how old's James Harden? 33, 34? Zach, do you know?
I'm not sure.
Why don't you opted in for this upcoming season, right? This is it. Contract's over after this upcoming season. I forget how much money he opted in. If he doesn't play, he's losing a lot of money. A lot of money. How about if, I don't know, this is crazy. How about if some team in China offered him the same amount of money to play 1 year in China? If you're James Harden, you hate Daryl Morey that much, you feel that the relationship cannot be fixed, would you consider doing that?
I don't know what all the rules are, what he's going to get fined and all that stuff for if he doesn't report 76ers. I have no idea what, and I certainly don't want to try to get in the head of James Harden either.
No, but let's say you could do it. You could leave. You would owe them. I don't know how that would work out, but you can go to China, play 1 year, get that kind of money, and then come back and then play for however long else you can play in the NBA with whoever team it is after the 1 year in China. Is it out of sight, out of mind, or can you come back from playing a year in China and be James Harden, great regular season player, postseason player, good first few games, bad at the seventh game? Can you do that? Can you pick up where you left off?
I'm sure he could. Yeah, he should go be an ESPN analyst.
By the way,
I don't get a job.
By the way, I ask every one of my friends down in South Jersey or up in South Jersey about that situation. Every one of them agreed with me wholeheartedly. Every one of them said absolutely, and then brought up other examples of guys that have gotten jobs like that because they say, well, I'm not going to go into it. People know we've argued this before. I know it doesn't mean it's the end-all, be-all reason. But if you don't think that is a reason, out of sight, out of mind is a thing. Being in the consciousness of people is also a thing.
We do have, actually, we don't have a winner. We got a tie. We got a tie. Zach, you're going to have to break a tie here.
Okay.
But we do have a correct answer in the Humdinger's trivia question. We had a lot of wrong answers. Lots of wrong answers. We only had 2 people that came with the correct answer. Some people just must have been bad students in school. They must have never listened to the teacher. The question is, which NBA team has the most players on World Cup rosters? So Greece is not an answer that would be acceptable. Greece.
Do they play in the West or the
Let me
East?
double check. The NBA did not expand. Greece doesn't have a team now in the NBA, right? I just want to make sure.
We have a lot of Greek players, and they're all named Antetokounmpo.
And Canada also. We have a team in Toronto. We don't have a Canada in the NBA, right?
Right.
Okay. So so for a couple, you just got to listen to the teacher better. You got to listen. You don't want to, if you're taking a test, make sure you understand the question. A lot of people went with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves have 5 guys on World Cup rosters. They are not the correct answer, though. There is one team that has 6. Do you know who that is? Timberwolves are second with their 5. There's 3 teams that have 5, only one that has 6.
I know Orlando has at least 2.
The team that has 6 does not have anybody on the U.S. roster.
Oklahoma City has a lot of foreign guys.
Yo, this is crazy.
I know. Mo and Franz Wagner from Orlando. That's 2. I can't think of anybody else in that
Orlando
team.
has 5. Orlando's one of the teams with 5.
I know Brooklyn has 2. At least 2.
Who is it?
It is Oklahoma City.
Man, okay. Yeah, I should have went with it. They have all foreign guys on that team, basically.
They have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Lou Dort on Canada's team.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Josh Giddey and Jack White on Australia. They've got Alexei Pokashevsky on Serbia and Davis Bertans on Latvia.
Jack White from the White Stripes.
So no Americans, but 6 players. They are the number 1. So let's see here. Where are the 2 that had Oklahoma? There they are. Okay. All right. So let me get this. Zach, I'm going to have you choose today between sausage or bacon.
Neither.
Which one can you do vegetarian of better?
Tofu?
Don't they do sausage? Don't they do like some of that crazy sausage, vegetable sausage?
Yeah.
They do it with bacon too, probably, I'm sure.
Yeah, they have
you tried either one of them?
That crazy sausage.
Did you eat any of that vegetarian?
Let's go with veggie sausage. How about that?
Sausage. Okay. Got it.
You don't know what you don't want to know what's in the sausage. Even that kind of sausage.
But you eat the Impossible Burgers, don't you?
Yeah.
Is like that the same type of theory for the sausage?
Yes.
What is it? Soy and stuff?
Yeah, soybeans and other grains.
And other goodies.
Yeah.
It's actually sausage. They just if you just tell them it's not, they believe you.
Dude's eating so much meat, he has no idea.
Those burgers, it's all just hamburger with a little other stuff thrown in there just to give it a slightly different taste. They don't know what an actual burger is supposed to taste like.
No,
they don't.
I don't.
So congratulations.
When somebody asked me what a cheeseburger is supposed to taste like, I'm like, oh. Like, what you mean?
Hey, does that Impossible Burger taste like a burger? I don't know. I don't know what a burger tastes like.
Congrats to our winner. By the way, the United States opens up pool play on Saturday versus New Zealand. Wonder how many NBA guys from New Zealand, or how many NBA guys play on New Zealand?
0.
Yes.
0. FIBA World Cup. Yeah, Steven Adams not playing, right? No. FIBA World Cup is in Manila in the Philippines. And again, Saturday, U.S. and New Zealand. If you missed it earlier, 5 favorite things topic, your 5 favorite beaches that you've been to around the world. That'll be for tomorrow's 5 favorite things topic, your 5 favorite beaches that you've been to around the world. Second hour of the program brought to you by our friends at James Gaddis Jewelers. They are your family's jeweler. 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at GaddisJewelers.com. There are a lot of folks that will be getting married in the fall, which is hard to believe with football, but things happen. I got married in the fall as well. You know, what are you going to do, right? And if you are getting engaged and you're looking for that special engagement ring, James Gaddis Jewelers is the place to go. They are your bridal engagement and anniversary jeweler headquarters, looking for those wedding rings and personally designed wedding sets. They've been around a long time. They know what they're doing. They have the experts to help you pick out the right rock. All their diamonds are independently graded and certified. So they know, you know you're going to get quality. You're going to get a great deal. They know there's a lot of competition, so they make sure they have a price point to suit everyone's budget. James is a local guy. It's family owned and operated. He's a Christian Brothers High School graduate and a Memphian through and through. If you're looking for that beautiful watch of all types, they have them for you. Custom-made jewelry, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants, gemstones, plus the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. It's James Gaddis Jewelers for all that. Plus, if you need anything fixed or cleaned, they got 2 repair experts to help you with your fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing, always available. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar. Stop by. Tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings, located between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at GaddisJewelers.com. When we come back, what's going on at the University of Memphis? Another season with Jeff Crane, Deputy AD, will join us. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Is your roof leaking? Do you have water damage on your ceiling of your home or business? Do you need assistance gathering much-needed data and images from your storm-damaged roof for an insurance claim? Call Metro Builders, roof and restoration specialists, and schedule your free inspection. At Metro Builders, our team of Hague-certified technicians and fully trained estimators are ready to come out and evaluate any concerns you may have. Metro Builders Roof and Restoration. We accept all insurance carrier scopes. Call Metro Builders now. Each and every day, we provide clients many different types of data and estimates for their insurance carrier. These include estimate and photo reports of all damage, from the roof to water damage on rafters and ceilings and even studs and plates inside walls. Check out the local BBB for our 27-year history in construction in Memphis, or check us out online today at metrobuildersmemphis.com. That's metrobuildersmemphis.com for your local residential and commercial roofing and restoration experts. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
You want the hottest summer deals in the Mid-South? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. 41 MPG Highway, we got it in 2023 Kia Forte LXS. $249 a month, $29.99 due at signing. Get SUV action in 2023 Nero EV Wind. 253 miles of EPA estimated range. $292 a month, $49.99 due at signing. Or 2023 Kia EV6 Wind with up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGE, only $425 a month, $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month leases. Plus, Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte PE 659,993. MSRP 22,540. Nero P501 5237. MSRP 41,390. EV6 P560 3393. MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for details. Offer valid through 9523. Dealer stock only. Warranties. A limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Sports 56 traffic.
Still working with the tree removal on Dogwood between Radford and Pinnacle Creek. They have closed off that area, so just use another route to get around that. Accident, new one on Highway 385 west at Kirby Parkway. Also, new accident on Getwell at American Road. And then we still working an accident on I-55 north at Winchester. The left 2 lanes are currently blocked there. And then also I-55 north at Holmes. The right shoulder is blocked. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Collegiate sports are revving up around the country. In fact, some sports already underway. The nationally ranked Memphis women's soccer team off to a great start. And a week from Saturday, the football team with high expectations begin their 2023 campaign. We have another season talking University of Memphis athletics with Jeff Crane.
It's time to talk Memphis Tigers athletics. Joining Greg and Eli is University of Memphis Deputy Athletics Director Jeff Crane. Here's Jeff with Greg and Eli.
Jeff will be on with us each and every Tuesday. Today, we'll start off the new season. You can follow him on Twitter at jcrane75. Good morning, Jeff.
Morning, guys. Summer. Great to hear your voices again.
Nice to have you back on. We've had a couple of months, or at least you had a couple of months to stay away from us for a while to get your wits back together. But now we're back to the grind, as they say, and there's a lot to get into. This is interesting, and I'm sure you know this, because of the announcement yesterday of the Memphis Win Together ticket promotion for football, which we'll go over again. Most home wins since 2014. Alabama and Clemson with 59, Ohio State with 55, the University of Memphis with 51. Ahead of Georgia, by the way, at 49. So, Mr. Crane, you guys come up with a really cool idea. Became a national story yesterday. Not it's not original. Boise, I think, is doing it, and some others. But it makes a lot of sense for you guys to give your fans some incentive, and the way they win at home may cost you a few dollars in the end.
Yeah, you stole the stat. I was going to drop that stat on you about the 51 wins, but you beat me to it. Yeah, our external group is always challenging themselves to come up with a great idea, and most great ideas are taken from others. But I'll say that if anybody else is doing this, they probably don't have 51 wins at home in the last 9-10 years. So yeah, there's we're kind of putting our money where our mouth is on that one. But we have confidence that our team is going to win, and we need folks in the stadium. So what a great way to introduce new people to Tiger football by enticing them with this offer, because we're going to go on a nice home streak here, and we're going to be fine with losing a little bit of money because we're going to have a packed Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium.
Well, listen, in today's world especially, people love to gamble, and it's kind of like gambling. You're taking that chance. In those areas where these tickets are, what would a normal season ticket cost?
Yeah, that's a great question. So typically those seats on a single game basis are $30 per seat. So you're looking at right at $180 for the season. So heck, I mean, you may get a season ticket for $60. Not a bad gamble.
Have you? And it's only been announced for a day. It's only been out there for a day. Have you seen folks jumping on this offer?
Yeah, we have. We've sold several dozen of these tickets at this point, and anticipate it, as you said, it is getting some local and national attention, and so our phones are starting to ring on, hey, what is this all about? Some people think it's a little too good to be true, so they're calling us just to make sure that it's legit. But absolutely, we anticipate selling more of these packages, and part of the goal here was to get people talking about Tiger football. And this time of year, all talk is good talk, and so we know that'll generate interest and more ticket sales.
Jeff, what if people have already purchased tickets in that area previously to this announcement? Is it retro, or is it just just bad timing?
Yeah, not retro, but we'll work with folks. So if there's anybody out there that is in that situation, give us a call and we'll work with you to try to make it right. Because at the end of the day, we want everybody in the stands for every single game. So we'll make whatever happen needs to get the customer happy.
Is there any limit on the total number of these tickets that you guys can sell or will sell? And is there any limit on what one person can buy?
Yeah, good question. There are no limits as it relates to a single person. We do anticipate once this kind of these couple corner sections sell, we'll likely end the promotion. But that'll be a good problem, and we'll see how that goes over the next few days. Because at the end of the day, if more people want in, then we're probably going to find a way. But we know the deadline is kickoff for the Bethune-Cookman game, which is on September 2nd. So time is ticking on the offer for sure.
And then if you do lose a home game and so that ticket is done, do they have the option to buy that ticket for the rest of the year? How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. If indeed the promotion runs out due to a loss, fans that want to continue to come will be able to buy those tickets for the remainder of the season.
Okay, so the Bethune-Cookman game a week from Saturday, isn't that the game that you can get the discounted tickets, the 901 game or whatever it's called?
Yeah, that's the Kroger ticket offer, which actually just ended last Friday. We sold a little over 1,000 on those tickets, but that opportunity has run out, which is why we launched this new offer on the we win you win scenario. So the $10 Kroger tickets have been all sold at this point.
Okay, so last week I was on vacation and I saw a story where it had the number of season tickets, and I think the number was you passed the 11,000 mark, which is on par to last year. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're just a tad behind where we were at this point last year, but moving toward that. We were a little over 12,000 last year. What we're seeing is fans are looking for new opportunities, which is why we offer that we win, you win scenario. We've also got a flex package where you can purchase 6 coupons essentially for $99, and you can use those 6 coupons at any game that you want. So you can buy 1 ticket to each game, or you can buy 6 tickets to 1 game if that's what you choose. Folks want flexibility, and so that's a trend that's happening across the country, and we've tried to adjust to that and meet the fans where they are and offer them opportunities to have that flexibility.
So at this point, with still week and a half to go before the game, gauging what you've done so far on individual game sales for Bethune-Cookman, the Kroger tickets that we just talked about, and those season tickets that have already been purchased, what are we looking at right now? Do you have any numbers that have been calculated on what you're looking at this point with attendance?
Yeah, I think it's too early to tell, as you all know, and we've learned over the last several years. Our fans love buying tickets about 72 hours before kickoff. So
right.
We tend to get a huge rush there. But we're expecting similar numbers to what we've seen in opening games the last couple of years. Approaching the high 20s, low 30,000 number is where we want to be.
With the promotion with the We Win You thing, that is, you have to buy those before the Bethune-Cookman game, right?
You do. Yep, absolutely. After kickoff of Bethune-Cookman, that offer will expire, but still have a little bit of time to get a hold of that opportunity.
All right, so since you have knowledge of what's going to happen with the 4 remaining Pac-12 teams and possibly maybe a merging together of the American, would you release all that information right now publicly for us?
Yeah, absolutely. As we've talked about before, you just need one of those magic 8 balls, and if you just shake it up with all the conference names on it, you could probably have a better chance to figure it out. But the landscape is constantly in flux, and we're along for the ride, and very very much have a seat at the table in those conversations. But our focus continues to be on Memphis and how do we make Memphis better, and how do we make Memphis even more appealing to those that may be looking for some new opportunities within their conference. So we feel good about where we are, and we know the game is not over yet. So we're just gonna keep investing in our program to put us in the best position.
Well, I just shook the magic 8 ball, and it says cannot predict now. So,
I'm sure it can't. I'm sure it can't. But all kidding aside, has the commissioner been in touch with all the ADs or school presidents, kind of like where things are? Because there's so many rumors out there.
I mean, those conversations happen regularly, even in a quote unquote normal environment, if there is such a thing anymore. But so the answer to your question is very much so. Laird and Dr. Hargrave and other presidents and the commissioner are constantly in communication on a range of issues, and this being one of them.
How are you, as you guys go into this season with the team, everything else? What's kind of the feeling for you guys? You're not coaches, obviously, but what in that athletic department? What's it like when you get close to opening day?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of we're inching up on Christmas Eve. This is exciting for us. We love the thrill of competition. Some of those already starting, as you all had mentioned. Men's and women's soccer are both underway, and volleyball gets started this week. And lots of planning that has taken place this summer is all coming to fruition here in the next couple of weeks as it relates to football. And just really excited for where things are headed. And you look at our team, and we're poised to have a great year. You're not going to find too many teams that have a third-year quarterback that has literally been at the same school for those 3 years. I think you might find that hard to find at any level of college football these days. And we've had continuity on our coaching staff. We've got the transfer portal in a really good spot. Added some depth in some places and some skill positions that we needed. So, I think this is going to be a breakout season for us, and really excited to get things kicked off on September 2nd.
Hey, you never know what's going to transpire in an athletic department for a season. I'm talking about sports on the field. And yet you look at this upcoming season, and I look at it and go, it could be really, really special. You know that soccer is going to do well. Volleyball, I think, is picked to win their side in the American. There's new excitement with baseball, new coach of baseball, women's basketball. But I look at men's basketball and the roster now that Penny has assembled, and there's still some moves that'll be made here in the final days before school starts, that it could end up being a special year in men's basketball. And football lines up. I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen, because there are some obstacles certainly in this conference. But when you look at that schedule, it's advantageous for Memphis. As you said, Jeff, this could be a real breakout year. So overall, sports-wise, I think you guys got to be excited about what could happen in 23-24.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We have awesome coaches here, and we have awesome student athletes that they've recruited to play at Memphis, and we're investing in the program. And when you do all of those things, you give yourself a chance. There's no guarantees, to your point. There's lots of variables that come into play that could impact wins and losses, but our job is to put our program and our coaches and student athletes in a position to be successful, and we feel like we've done that. We've definitely not reached the pinnacle of that by any stretch of the imagination. We have lots of things on the horizon over the next few years to help us do that even more, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's kind of the thrill of the unknown. What's going to happen? It's kind of lost on us today, but sports still has that aspect to it that makes it fun.
GoTigersGo.com for tickets, or they can go over to the box office, I assume?
Absolutely, yep. Still have some tickets available for Bethune-Cookman on the 2nd, and Go Tigers Go is a great place, or you can go to our ticket office right there on 570 Normal Street, or give us a call, and we'll get you all set up. Look forward to seeing a big crowd.
He is Jeff Crane, University of Memphis Deputy Athletics Director. You can follow him on Twitter at jcrane75 and catch him every Tuesday talking University of Memphis athletics. Next week, of course, we'll be right there just a few days away from the opening game of the college football season. Jeff, as always, thank you so much, and looking forward to another great year.
Thanks so much, guys. Go Tigers, go.
Appreciate it.
The Magic 8 Ball is very confused on the topic here. I keep getting the opposite answers on this, so I don't know. It's if the question is, will the remaining Pac-12 schools join the American Athletic Conference? It's wavering. It keeps going back and forth. Just got very doubtful that time. So let's see if I ask again. Then it says,
"Shut up."
Outlook good. So it doesn't really. It just keeps going back and forth between positive and negative answers here. Let's see. This time it is.
Shake it up.
It is decidedly so.
The ACC, are they having another vote on Stanford and Cal, or is that ship sailed?
I don't know. I don't think there's anything scheduled right now, but I'm sure it could become a possibility that there's another vote at some point. See, now it says ask again later. Screw you, 8 Ball. Give me an answer now.
Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. You don't need to shake the little 8 Ball to tell you if they give you good service, quality work, because that's exactly what they do. They've been around now for a number of years, locally owned and operated company. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. They offer financing with different plans and options to choose from, including a 6, 12, or 18-month same as cash option. They'll work with your insurance company or out of pocket. They're part of the Roofs for Troops program. Any veteran, active, or retired, you get a $250 rebate on the purchase of a new roof. They do residential and commercial roofing. So, business owners, property managers, along with homeowners, if you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof. All their work, satisfaction guaranteed. Not only work on the roof, they do carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, put up fencing and siding, rotten wood repair. They can install shingles. In fact, Brandon's a certified shingle installer. Whatever you can't do yourself, call the experts at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. For all your roofing and home repair needs, 901-438-5084 or online at newroofmemphis.com.
Now the 8 Ball sounds more like he's involved in actually the college football reporting, because this time I got my sources say no. So now he's asking sources. Now he's actually going out there and getting sources on this, like the reporters, instead of just guessing on his own.
Damn, Magic 8 Ball's losing its mind. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Are you ready to conquer the great outdoors? Come in today and gear up with the dependable Suzuki King Quad ATV, because there's no rest for the rugged. Its unparalleled combination of power, versatility, and reliability allow you to tackle the toughest terrains with ease. And right now, there are lots of ways to help you hit the trail, including low APR financing and low monthly payments for qualified buyers, discounts for the military and first responders, and more. Roll into Olive Branch Motorsports in Olive Branch, Mississippi, and experience the Suzuki King Quad ATV's unmatched capabilities today.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte PE 659,993, MSRP 22,540, Nero P 501,5237, MSRP 41,390, EV6 P 560,3393, MSRP 50,200, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for details, offer valid through 9/5/23. Dealer stock only, warranties, a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
I got Jeff Allen on the line. Hey, what's the scoop over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
Randy, we got deals everyone wants. How about 41 MPG Highway, 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $249 a month, $29.99 due at signing.
Hey, Jeff, give me some EV scoop.
2023 Nero EV Win, 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $292 a month. And a 2023 Kia EV6 Win with up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGe. Only $425 a month, both $49.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease.
And Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty to boot.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
I have got an idea for a movie tie-in for Central Barbecue.
I don't like where this is going.
The Central Barbecue Oppenheimer Special. It's an explosion of flavor.
No.
So, Central Barbecue's ribs are the bomb?
No. Plus, Central Barbecue doesn't need that kind of promotion. Central Barbecue's food is the promotion.
Central Barbecue's hot sauce is
I'm telling you, Central Barbecue has always sold itself because you can't get better barbecue anywhere.
So, it's the Oppenheimer thing. All right, well, how about you can't spell barbecue without Barbie?
But you can.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. Once again, tomorrow's 5 favorite things topic, your 5 favorite beaches that you have been to anywhere around the world. Get your list together. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Also, tomorrow we'll make our SEC predictions. We'll do that pretty early. 7:25, we'll go one of our SEC divisions. Then we'll go to the other at 8:05, Jerry Palm to Michael Cole. 5 favorite things, all coming up on the show tomorrow. We got Jonah Dillon to talk University of Memphis football coming up at 9:25.
A texter on you hear about the Magic Johnson, Steph Curry thing says Magic averaged 25 threes per season, 325 for his career, 30% three-point shooter. Steph has made 3,390, averages 273 per season. Curry's a career 42% shooter. No doubt he changed the game with the three and the point guard being a shooter. Yeah, I mean, well, the whole game has changed. I mean, and Steph Curry's a big part of that. There's no doubt. I mean, in Magic's day, they just didn't shoot very many threes at all. Nobody did. It was just not a real part of the game like it is today, where everybody shoots threes constantly, including centers are shooting threes all the time.
But Johnson changed the game, too, for being as big as he was to be a point guard. So the size of the point guard changed with Magic. But, yes, Steph Curry changed it as well with that ability to step back and step into a three-point shooter anywhere, three-point shot anywhere on the court, plus drive to the hole and finish and distribute. That's why I said that when it's all said and done, Steph Curry may be the better point guard of the two. You said no, it's not going to happen, but the point we made earlier, if you're just tuning in now, is that Steph Curry was on Gilbert Arenas' podcast, and Gilbert asked him, who is the best point guard ever? And Steph Curry said, well, it's Magic and me, end of conversation. And I said, well, I don't know if it's end of conversation. I think you could throw Oscar Robertson in there as well, but it would be those three guys. But when it's all said and done, I asked Eli if he thought that Steph could overtake Magic, and he said no. And I think he possibly can. I mean, Magic was, again, incredible. But Steph Curry, what he's doing right now, oh, my gosh. So when it's all said and done, the one thing you don't get with Steph Curry is when people talk about top 10 NBA players of all time, he's never mentioned. And he should be mentioned. That guy has changed the game, the modern game. By the way, are you watching the Showtime Lakers series? No. Oh, gosh. It was so cool. Last week was all about Larry Bird. Larry Bird was a bad man. Of course, Magic got the better of him, I think, in the end, but they both obviously played off each other and will always be associated with each other. It's a really good series, real fun series.
To that point again, Larry Bird, who's considered one of the great shooters of all time, he made 649 threes in his career. His best year he ever had was made 90 threes.
Yeah.
Which led the league.
Like you said, they didn't shoot threes.
Like, I'm sure there were centers that made more than 90 threes this past year. That was Larry Bird's best year ever as one of the great shooters.
What do you think Jabbar does in this day and age? How effective is Jabbar playing now? We know that Shaq, who played later after Jabbar, is effective because of his size in any era. Wilt as well. Jabbar was tall with an incredible hook shot. I got to imagine that he would be great as well.
He would just be a different player. Like he would have adjusted.
You think he would have adjusted and had a three-point shot?
He would have been raised, like he would have come up playing differently than what he would have been required to just be on the block constantly. He probably would have stepped outside. Like guys just come up differently now.
Are you like me that greatness would overcome anything as far as if you were great in the 1930s, you would be great in the 2020s?
I think for the most part, I don't think Bill Russell would be nearly as good as he was.
I don't think so either.
He just wasn't big enough.
No, he was
LeBron's
undersized.
His size.
Yeah, he was undersized for a guy who did what he was able to do at his size. Because now it's crazy. Now again, you have shooting guards that are bigger than Bill Russell. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy what he was able to accomplish. All right, when we come back, a lot of different things we want to get to start off Hour 3. We'll take your calls and texts on the Sports 56 listener lines at 901-360-8255. I do want to throw out this question. What makes sense? I hate it because it's my team, the Colts. Jonathan Taylor has been granted permission to seek a trade with his agent. What makes sense? Jonathan Taylor will demand a lot of money. It's a big contract that you would have to sign him to, a long-term contract. Are you willing to take a chance? I would be, but what teams make sense that need a running back for Jonathan Taylor? Let us know at 360-8255. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's usually a waste of time to give out a phone number for a business during a radio commercial because the people listening are probably in their car, and that's not a great time to write down a phone number. So it's easier to give you something you can remember, and that is BellTavern.com. It's that simple. And BellTavern.com doesn't just give you the hours for Bell Tavern, Memphis's best old-school bar. It also shows you the insane collection of signature drinks and mouth-watering pictures of the spectacular food at Bell Tavern. The next time you're done driving, check out BellTavern.com, and then get back in your car and go there.
Hotsy Pressure Washers and Detail Supplies of Memphis takes it all off. They are the #1 cleaning and equipment provider, period. Big or small, Hotsy has the solution. From hot water and cold water pressure washers to industrial soaps and detail supplies, Hotsy has you covered. For our Sports 56 fans, you get 20% off all detail products, so don't miss out on this amazing deal. Call Hotsy today, 901-379-0550, or visit their showroom, conveniently located at Austin P and I-40.
The Gossett Mitsubishi Summer Sales Event is still going strong at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Whatever vehicle needs you may be wishing for, we've got you covered at Gossett Mitsubishi. 41 MPG highway that can turn on a dime, that's 2023 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. $17,395 or $249 a month. 2024 Eclipse Cross combines luxurious styling with cutting-edge technology, generous cargo room, and versatility. $29,100 or $399 a month. And the powerful and fun to drive 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander. $29,580 or $499 a month. And you'll always get peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 500 military rebate, G4 PH 006839, MSRP 17895, Cross RZ 00688, MSRP 29850, Outlander PZO 59809, MSRP 30080, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
Football season is about to kick off, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to win all season long, because right now when you bet on a Super Bowl winner, you can get bonus bets every time they win in the regular season. Just pick any team to win the Super Bowl, and you'll get bonus bets for every victory. You can use your bonus bets on spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. How about Cincinnati? They nearly pulled the trick 2 years ago. I'm riding them. Great quarterback, solid offensive line, talent on defense, and consistency with a coaching staff. Plus, they've got experience in the big games recently. They've been close. I think they finally knocked down the door. So visit FanDuel.com/win and start earning bonus bets with America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/win.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
A new era in public safety begins with you. Be the change you want to see. Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo, Saturday, August 26, 2023, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We'll be taking applications, performing basic testing, and interviewing candidates on site. Free parking will be located at Poplar Avenue and Front Street. Salary starting at $60,700. Benefits include a $15,000 sign-on bonus, up to $10,000 relocation assistance. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Dogwood between Radford and Pinnacle Creek is closed due to tree removal, so just use another route for there. Also, still working accident on Getwell at American Way. Highway 385 West at Kirby Parkway, the left shoulder is blocked. Then I-55 North at Holmes Road, the right shoulder is blocked. A couple of new accidents. Union at Cooper Street. That's Union at Cooper Street. And then I-40 West at I-240. The Sam Cooper, the right lane is blocked. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Okay, this car looks great wrapped around you,
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
The body's a temple, that's what we're told. Well, I've treated this one like an old honky tonk.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:04 of the time. Final hour for us today here on this Tuesday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Right now, an excessive heat warning and a heat advisory issued for the Mid-South. Also, an air quality alert until 5:30 tonight. In other words, it's not good out there. There should be an excessive melting warning as well, because we may all melt. Currently, it's 86, but with high humidity, it already feels like 95. Heat index of 95 at 9:05. Looking at a high today of around 99, so that heat index will probably be around 110. Tonight, mostly clear skies, low of around 79. Tomorrow, same old song and dance, mainly sunny, hot high of about 100, and another high heat index. So if you're going out there, be careful.
To that point, I was talking about with Larry Bird. So Larry Bird's best year again in the NBA in three-pointers made, he made 90 three-pointers. How many guys in the NBA last year you think made more than 90 three-pointers? Better than Larry Bird's best year ever, in which he led the league in three-pointers made. Last year, how many made more than 90?
More than 90, I would guess there's 30 teams times 6, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180.
Zach?
55.
55? You only think 55? No. 138.
Wow. Almost went a little bit lower than that.
So
That's
Larry Bird's best year in the NBA in three-pointers made would have finished him 139th last year in three-pointers made. How many Grizzlies you think made more threes than Larry Bird's best year last season?
How many Grizzlies? 4.
I was going to say 3.
Well, you know Desmond did.
Right.
Do you think Dylan did?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
He attempted like 3 times more per game than Larry Bird did.
Was Luke there long enough?
Well, I'm not counting. I'm counting for the Grizzlies, actually, for the Grizzlies. Jaren.
Of course.
Tyus.
Makes sense.
Ja did.
I thought so. So I said 4. So is it 5 or is it more than 5?
Santi Aldama did.
Oh, my God. Really? Wow.
Think about that. Santi Aldama. Last year, Santi Aldama's had a year in the NBA already where he made more threes than Larry Bird ever made in a year in the NBA. Like, that's how much the game has changed since Larry and Magic were playing.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's your point. Your point's not picking on Larry. It's like that's across the board.
Larry Bird's one of the greatest shooters of all time.
I know.
He's one of the greatest players of all time. But that's the thing. Like, you can't compare anything three-point shooting-wise to anybody that plays today to what it was then. I mean, when Santi Aldama already has a better year in three-pointers made than Larry Bird ever had in his entire career.
So are you knocking the texter that talked about the Steph Curry numbers compared to Magic Johnson? Is that your point here?
You can't compare shooting numbers at all, today's NBA versus before. It's a completely different game. It's like passing numbers in the NFL. The game has changed completely.
Yes, but you could also say Steph Curry is a freak among freaks. As far as shooting.
He's the greatest shooter of all time.
Right.
Magic shooting has nothing to do with anything, especially comparing it to Steph Curry.
Right.
That would be like Santi Aldama's made more than Larry Bird. Larry Bird couldn't have been that great of a shooter.
What's Curry's all-time points per game and Magic's all-time points per game, and then also their assists per game?
Let's see here.
Might take a bit for you to figure that out, but I'm just curious. I mean, I'd still right now go Magic, but I'm telling you, Steph Curry is making a beeline to be the greatest point guard ever, and certainly a top 10 player of all time.
For his career, 24 points per game and 6.5 assists per game.
24 and 6.5, okay, for his career.
And Magic,
it's got to be better assists for Magic.
It'll be better assists. It'll be less points, more assists.
Right. It's got to be near 10, I would think.
Magic averaged 19.5 points and 11.2 assists.
Wow, 11.2 assists. Okay. Like you said, they're different players. Different in size, different in stature, in the fact that, Magic would, if you're watching that show, and I know they've taken liberties, but just Magic being Magic, lighting up the town, Tinseltown, Steph Curry a little bit more reserved. But Again, I would not think that what he said is that far off, and I don't think it's egotistical. He's just speaking the truth, that he believes it's magic in him, end of conversation. I think it's magic in him and Oscar Robertson. But Oscar goes back so many years that people forget what he was able to do. All right, what about this Knicks-Toronto Raptors deal? The Knicks have been accused of the Knicks have accused their former video analytics and player development assistant of stealing thousands of proprietary files and forwarding them to the Raptors, which are now coached by Darko Rakovic. How do you pronounce it? Rakovic, the former Grizzlies assistant.
Yeah, they are suing the Raptors. They are suing Darko. Darko is named, along with, I think it's like a total of 10 Raptors employees. And then, of course, the guy who they are saying did all this. But basically, this guy was offered a job by the Raptors. Apparently told the Knicks he was going to take it, but he continued to work for the Knicks, which was, in any of these situations, the guy tells you you're leaving, I would say, all right, you're done. Goodbye. Get out. But so in that interim time, between the time he told them he was taking the Raptors job and the time he actually left the Knicks, basically just started downloading stuff and sending stuff to the Raptors from their Synergy subscription, everything else, but all kinds of various things from game preparation, scouting reports, all of that stuff. That he just started forwarding to the Raptors, knowing that that's where he was going to be working. And the Knicks figured it out, I guess, realized this. They said there was 3,358 video files, and they say they were accessed over 2,000 times by Raptors people, those people who are listed as defendants in this. So I assume Darko is part of that. I believe their thing is that the Raptors people told this guy to do that. And so I don't know. I don't know
Darko.
I don't know what will come out of this as far as the lawsuit is concerned and all of that stuff. And I don't know what the NBA would possibly do in this situation. I really don't know. I have no idea if they find this to be true, if the NBA would step in and do something to the Raptors, do something to Darko, I don't know. I have no idea how the NBA would handle something like this. If indeed it is found to be true, I would think there would be some sort of punishment.
I first thought when this story came out that this guy sent over all his work, everything that he's done, even though he was a part of the Knicks organization, it was all his material. And when I saw that, I go, even though he technically was working for the Knicks, it's his stuff. He came up with these scouting reports. He came up with this and that. I don't think it's a big deal. But when I read further about the amount of files that were sent over and that it obviously went beyond what he brought to the table with the Knicks, now he's really gone beyond where he's actually stole property. And therefore, I think there will be some sort of penalty from the NBA. Now, what are they going to say? Send all the stuff back or delete all the stuff back? The damage is already done as far as that's concerned. I think the Raptors will be hit with big-time fines. Big-time fines. I don't know if there'll be any type of a suspension for anybody that's named. I'm not sure if you can prove that he was told to do this or who told him to do this, if he was told. I don't know about that. But the NBA will absolutely do something to the Raptors. There's no question about it. Again, I wouldn't do anything if it was all his material. It's like, that's mine, man. I'm sorry. But if it's all the other stuff that was compiled by the Knicks scouting teams and game prep stuff.
These things, and I don't know what it reads, but I'm guaranteed there's stuff. There is stuff in your contract you sign that says, like, this stuff is team property. Any of this stuff is team property. You don't get to take it when you leave. It belongs to the team.
Yeah.
You don't get to forward it. You don't get to do it. Apparently,
they took a computer,
he started sending stuff from his Knicks email to like his Gmail account so he could get it all out of there, and then I guess forward it on to the the Raptors from there. Here's the thing: this is in court. This isn't just an NBA investigation. This is actual court. This is a lawsuit. So there is discovery. They can go subpoena emails, text messages, everything else. They can find out what was said between Raptors people and him, and if somebody was telling him to do this, especially if they did it in an email or text message or anything like that, it could come out in court. This isn't the NBA that doesn't necessarily have the power to subpoena things. This is actual court. So as this lawsuit moves forward, then the guys from the Raptors could be in a lot of trouble if they were very careless in the way they were telling this guy to do it.
Right. If they had told him in person, or even with, I don't think they tapped the phone, but if they certainly sent emails or texts, they can find that stuff out. Hey, grab this for us. But again, going back to what you said about, there's no question that you probably sign those things when you work for an organization. You work for any company for that matter. But like, I think of property, I'm like, you're not going to leave the Knicks job and take a computer that's not your own personal computer. You're not going to be taking the work computer. You're not going to be taking things that the Knicks have issued to use while you're an employee there. But if you have done scouting reports, or for example, I have my phone contacts that I've compiled of guests that I've used on the show, and if I went to another station, I'm taking that with me. I would think that stuff is fine. But again, when you're talking about sending over files and files and files that go beyond just what you compiled, then now, yeah, I can understand where the Knicks are not only upset but are suing. And what will come of it? Again, I think there will be hefty fines that Toronto will be paying in the end. But I don't think there's much else you can do, because that information has been already sent. They have looked at it, I'm sure, or are looking at it until they have to give it up. What are they going to tell them, to delete the files? Maybe they will. But damage done already as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, I mean, if for just using Darko as an example, if they have things from Darko that were like an email saying, do this,
exactly,
then Darko will be punished for
no
that.
question.
And I don't know how severe the NBA wants to get on it, but I mean, if there is if there's,
you're pretty stupid if you
it
did
doesn't
that,
seem like it seems like this guy probably was a little careless in it and didn't maybe just thought he was not going to get caught, but it was kind of careless in doing it the way he was doing it. So there very well could be people on the other end that were careless in telling him to do it, not thinking it would ever be something that would come out. And so those people could very well face some penalties as well. Again, I don't know how serious the NBA would want to come down, but I would assume they would be pretty serious about this. They don't want this happening around the league, so it could be a pretty severe penalty if there were guys who, again, they find out easily by email or whatever, were telling this guy, hey, do this, because they would all know that it's that is an illegal thing as far as the NBA is concerned.
Is it possible this guy did it all on his own? He wanted to impress. He got all that material. He brought it to the Raptors.
It is possible.
If that's the case, that guy could be out. He could be out of a job. I don't think there's any question that guy could lose his job. If this is just one dude acting like that, going beyond what his contract said, stealing proprietary stuff, I don't know. I mean, it's possible. All right. I mentioned the topic of Jonathan Taylor earlier in the show and then asked the question, what teams out there make sense? Again, financially, I don't know everybody's situation and what they can afford. You're going to have to pay Jonathan Taylor. You're going to have to give him some more years. And we know with the running backs, it has not been a good summer for running backs, let's be honest, as far as getting contracts done. But who makes sense for Jonathan Taylor, who I still think has plenty left in the gas tank? Even though he's coming off an injury.
I mean, the team that makes the most sense, and everybody has already brought up, is the Dolphins.
The Dolphins
are a team that believes they are really good, believe they are a contender. They got Raheem Mostert, and they got Jeff Wilson. Certainly Jonathan Taylor is better than those. They could use one of those possibly in a trade, because the Colts certainly, I would think, if they trade Taylor, would want to get somebody back, because I don't even know who they've got at the running back. I saw their depth chart behind him, and it's not very good. So there would be a good chance, I think, they would want to get a current running back in for him as well.
Do you think
Dolphins do have some draft capital as well? So, that's a team that I think would probably make the most sense just because, again, they think they're good. They think they're a contender, and running back is one of the weak spots that they have on an offense that is loaded pretty much everywhere else.
Do you think even though the Eagles have loaded up with running backs, they lost their primary running back from last year, Miles Sanders? Kenneth Gainwell will be in the mix. They got a number of Rashad Penny's on the team. Trey Sermon's on the team. They have a number of guys. It's running back by committee in Philadelphia. Do you think they could reach out?
No.
How about
they've got Jalen Hurts, and they're not going to spend a bunch of money on a running back.
And then
That's why they let Miles Sanders
They
walk.
just traded for DeAndre Swift over and
Yeah, they got Rashad Penny,
yeah,
DeAndre
that's what I
Swift.
said. They have a lot of running
same
backs.
as last year, only without they had a bunch of guys last year. They're not going to spend a bunch of money on a running back.
Well, I don't think DeAndre Swift is Jonathan Taylor, but yes, I mean it's a good point. What about the teams that just picked up running backs? Do you think they're off the market now? New England went and signed Zeke. You have Dalvin Cook obviously going to the Jets. They're not going to be in the market, right?
Well, the Jets certainly are. That with Breece Hall and Dalvin
Yeah.
Cook.
So Chicago's an option. You mentioned Mostert's the number one guy. Jeff Wilson in Miami. Who is it? Herbert?
Khalil Herbert, I believe, will be the starter.
In Chicago? I could see Chicago. Who did Minnesota replace Dalvin Cook with?
They've got
Madison.
Now he's been there forever.
Yeah, Madison's been there a long time. So I don't know. And the Rams are going to go with, is Akers back from injury?
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be their guy? So I don't know. It'll be interesting, but I guarantee you there are going to be some takers out there.
Now, with the Rams, Akers was upset last year. There was that situation, the whole thing. Now, could they decide to trade Akers and try to do something like that? I don't know if that would be a possibility. I don't know what their current relationship status is. I don't know if they put it on Facebook, what their official relationship status right now with Cam Akers is, if they're all getting along or not out there. But again, the thing, I mean, again,
Is that what you do with Facebook? You put your status?
To trade for a running back who only has a year left, you're not going to want to give up that much because you're probably not going to want to pay him what he wants to get paid. That's the reason, because nobody wants to pay any running back what they want to get paid, especially a top-line running back right now.
Right, but maybe he has a discount in mind and some team's willing to take a flyer for a little bit less and then see how it works out both sides. You're like, well, maybe we can talk. If he has a really good year, let's talk him into a long term and see what we can come up with. And he looks at that team, wasn't originally one that he wanted to play for, and says, yeah, I mean, it makes more sense. We haven't heard really Jonathan Taylor come out and say, I don't want to play for them or them or them.
No, he just wants to get paid.
He just wants to get paid. This isn't James Harden.
He, like every other running back, isn't going to get paid. So that's what I'm saying. You're going to get him. You're not going to want to pay him what he wants to get paid.
Do you know what he got paid last year? What his deal was?
I think he's making like $9 million or something like that, $8-9 million, I think, for this year.
All right.
But he's going to want a long-term high deal. And now you could tag him for, but then you're going to be right back. He's going to be unhappy because he wants the long-term deal, but whoever gets it probably isn't going to be willing to pay him what the long-term deal he wants, just like every other running back in the league who wants more than they're actually able to get paid.
Yeah, but he's only played how many years? 3? Taylor?
This will be, was he a first-round pick?
He was I don't.
He was not.
I don't think he was a first-round pick,
It has to be
was
year
he?
4 if he's not a first-round pick, it's year 4 because it's the last year of his rookie.
So I'm thinking it's year 4 for him.
Yeah, this is his last year. So this is year 4.
This is fourth year.
If he wasn't if he was first-round pick, it'd be year 5 would be his last year. If he's not a first-round pick, year 4 is his last year. So if he's not a first-round pick, then it's year 4 for him because it's the last year of his
That's what I thought. So he's
current
still
contract.
he has a lot left in the tank, I think. And I know he got hurt last year, but I still think he's all right.
Teams don't care.
Yeah, obviously Hersey doesn't care.
They just don't want to spend a lot of money on the running back position. It has nothing to do with what's in the tank. We're not spending a bunch of money on the running back position. We got somebody else who will do it for cheaper.
Damn, Colts are going to use Lydell Mitchell, I think, this year. Man, gosh.
Somebody texted and said Jonathan Taylor to Dallas. Not a chance. Never. No, and don't. They're certainly not going to pay. They're paying Pollard now over $10 million with the franchise tag. They're not going to be paying Jonathan Taylor on top of that, $9 million. And they're certainly not going to be signing him to a long-term deal on top of Pollard. So, no, definitely not.
I say if the price is right, Buffalo could be a spot.
They like Cook. They like Dalvin's little brother. James Cook.
Yes, James.
They like him a lot, seems like.
But they did lose.
And he's very cheap.
They did lose, what's his name, to injury? Who's the other guy they got who was with the Colts for a while?
Naheem.
Yeah.
Hines.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost him, so I don't know how deep they are as far as running back.
Moving can be stressful, folks, but the folks at Black Tie Moving, well, they'll take a lot of that worry and stress out of the process for you. Whether you're moving across town or across country, whether it's your home, whether it's your office, whatever it is, the main concern you have is wanting to make sure that it goes as smoothly as possible. Your things get where they're going, and there's no issues whatsoever. That's exactly what you get when you get professionals like Black Tie Moving to do your move for you. All you got to do is give them a call, 901-316-6196, or you can go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis and talk with them. They come up with a plan, working with you to find something that fits your budget, fits your needs, and they take care of you with a no-obligation quote up front. A moving concierge available 24/7 during the move as well, so if you have any questions that come up, they are there to answer them. You have peace of mind throughout the entire process. There's a reason they've got 5-star ratings online, A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They're just the best. They're the professionals that you want when it comes to a move. Black Tie Moving, 901-316-6196, or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis.
The new Tigers football beat writer for the Commercial Appeal, Jonah Dillon, joins us next to talk some Tigers football. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
From brilliant to beautiful, we've heard lots of words used to describe the Sissy's Log Cabin experience, but we think one sums it up best: extraordinary. Here, you'll find an unparalleled selection, impeccable service, and an experience that makes you feel like family. Shop online at sissyslogcabin.com or stop by one of our 6 locations. Find your trusted jeweler for a lifetime only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on Sports 56, Real Sports Talk.
Purchase a new energy-efficient heating and cooling system from Conway Services today and get up to $1,750 back plus a free Nest thermostat when Conway Services buys back your old, inefficient HVAC system. Guaranteed service and flexible payment options are great reasons to call Conway Services today. Visit conwayservices.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 64210, 64365 EAS, MS 19668.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Get them to sign on the line which is dotted.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Gonna put the world away for a minute, pretend I don't live in it. Sunshine gonna wash my blues away.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:29 the time. Final half hour and change here in this Tuesday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Again, tomorrow we'll have our SEC predictions, our annual predictions for the SEC, and then next Wednesday we will predict the University of Memphis football season. And speaking of the Tigers, he is the new Tigers football beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. Also, we'll be covering the Grizzlies for the CA. You can follow him on Twitter at the Jonah Dillon. Jonah Dillon joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Hey, Jonah, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How about you guys?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for joining us. So before we jump right into this, talk some Tigers footballs for our listeners out there. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm from Los Angeles, California. Went to Northwestern for college and bounced around a little bit after college. I was out in Las Vegas working at the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Then I was in Hartford, Connecticut working for a place called CT Insider. And now I'm here. I've been excited. I wanted to cover sports. I've been looking for that. And this is a great opportunity. Got here about 3-4 weeks ago, kind of just dove right in. And, yeah, I'm ready for the football season to start.
All right, so you got L.A., Chicago, Las Vegas,
Hartford,
then Hartford and Memphis.
Yeah, we got a lot. I packed a lot in.
little different atmospheres in some of those places.
Yeah, especially, so I tell everyone when I packed up in Hartford, I drove down here to Memphis, and it's my first time ever being in the South. I never even visited. So it's been new for me. I'm getting used to everything. Southern hospitality has been great so far. Shout out to all the people I've met who have been very welcoming. But it's definitely been new.
So the weather this week's got to be a little bit of a shock to the system.
You're not getting used to that.
To the weather?
Yes.
I would say that, although let me tell you, having lived in Las Vegas, in the summer in Las Vegas, people always say, oh, it's a dry heat. It's not that bad. When it's 115 degrees and you're sitting outside, it doesn't matter if it's a dry heat or it's humid. It is absolutely miserable. So I have some experience with that. This is different a little bit because of the humidity, but I don't think it gets a lot worse than 115, 118 just baking out there. And it doesn't cool down at night. It'll be 100 degrees when it's pitch dark midnight.
So do you still have family in L.A.?
Yeah.
It is everything. Or they do it with that's some crazy stuff going on out there.
Yeah, they were lucky. I think people were really hunkering down, but the hurricane, it kind of came. There was some rain, obviously, but they didn't get hit too bad. I think they said the lights flickered a couple times, but they didn't have to deal with any power outage or anything. And, yeah, they're okay. So that's definitely good to hear. I was checking in with them a lot over the weekend.
So you don't get a ton of access to watch the team, but you get over there enough to get a little feeling on what you think may or may not happen this year. And you've had a chance to talk to Ryan Silverfield, head coach, probably a few times, and players as well. What's kind of your feeling, Jonah, as you get ready to cover the Tigers for their 2023 campaign?
Yeah, the feeling is this is a really important season, not just because I'm coming in and I want it to seem like this season is important, but it feels like you talk to people in the program, around the program, they're coming off those 2 6-6 regular seasons, and they know, especially in the new look American Conference, it kind of has to be better this year. And there's no reason why it can't be. The schedule sets up nicely. They feel like they've brought in a lot of talented players through the transfer portal. They have a returning quarterback in Seth Hennigan, and they feel like they're kind of set up well, especially in this conference. But they know that there's pressure. Everybody knows that there's pressure. They need to win this season. And, they need to be consistent throughout the season. They need to figure out how to win close games. That was obviously a huge problem last year. And so there are a lot of things to work on. But at the same time, there's a lot of reasons for optimism. And I think people around the program are feeling that.
You wrote about Sutton Smith and why he can be the next great Memphis football running back. What do you think of that mix at running back? Do you believe he will be the guy that steps forward? And what makes you believe he can be that next great back?
Yeah. Well, one of the things, when we've gotten the chance to talk to all the position coaches as well as the coordinators, and of course, Ryan Silverfield has talked a few times. And you're always trying to, especially with these positions where we know there's a lot of guys, we're always trying to ask them, well, who's going to win this position battle? And they're usually pretty tight-lipped about stuff like that. Understandably so, and we'll see when the depth chart comes out next week. But Sutton Smith is a guy that multiple coaches have just brought up without even really being asked specifically about him and said, this guy has talent. They keep saying he's a dynamic player. He can do multiple things. When I talked to him, he talked about he wants to work on pass protection. He wants to work on being a receiver in the backfield. He wants to work on being a kick returner because he just wants to be a more well-rounded player. And I think they really see a talented guy who they can use in multiple ways. And that's going to be important when you look at the running back room. But, this is a place, obviously, everybody knows a lot of talented running backs coming through here in the past couple of years. And everybody is ready for there to be another guy like that who's going to take the next step and be an NFL player. And I think a lot of people feel like Sutton Smith, with the talent that he has, the versatility, he can be the guy to kind of take that step this season.
Oh, there's no question about it. Being around the team like I am, that was the talk last year when he went through a redshirt year that he could be that next guy. But the competition is stiff, as you know. The running back room looks crowded, and you want that. Hopefully the attrition rate is low. But you mentioned next week when the two deep is announced, when we get a clear look at what we expect to see on the field to start games. How do you see the running back room on the two deep and then going further than that? How do you see it when you have a guy like Watson is brought in, when Ducker's there for a second year, Thomas is trying to bounce back from injuries? How do you see it, Jonah?
Yeah, well, I think running back is a position where when the depth chart comes out, people are going to look at it and say, oh, well, this guy won the starting job. I think with running back and maybe a couple other positions, whoever's number one in the depth chart, that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see them get 30 touches in the first game.
Right.
So I think I'm just going to preempt the depth chart and everybody's, analysis of that with saying that. I think Blake Watson is a guy who comes in with a very successful, productive career at Old Dominion, and he's the guy where they know what they're getting, and they know what they're getting in Jay Ducker. They're expecting him to take the next step. So they know what they're getting, but they expect Sutton Smith to take this step. What I'll be interested to see is during the first couple of games, how did the snaps break down? And in what ways are they using each guy, right? So are they going to line two? They're going to have two running backs at the same time. One of them is going to be in the backfield. Is Sutton Smith going to be returning kicks? Who's going to be the goal line back? Those are the kind of things that we want to see develop, and then we'll see how that kind of moves throughout the season. But I think ultimately the depth chart is going to come out, and I'm not sure that that's necessarily going to be, okay, this is the number one bell cow guy. I think it's going to be more complicated than that.
Meanwhile, at receiver, they lost basically all of the production from last year. What do you think, and from having talked to the coaches, everything else, what's your impression of this receiving core?
Yeah, they like the guys they brought in. They brought in a lot of transfers. Obviously, you have to when you lose that many guys, right? The two guys that we've heard a lot about are Towski Dove, who comes from Missouri, and Demir Blankenship from Toledo. Those guys both played at, Demir was a very productive receiver, and Towski comes from a SEC program and was a starter for them. So they're expecting a lot from those guys. And that's one of those situations where when you look at the roster, it's like this in a lot of positions. You see a lot of talent, and people can look at that and say, well, we could actually be better at this position than we were last year. But at the same time, until we see how these guys are meshing, they talk about, we've spent all of fall camp and we've figured out, chemistry between these receivers and running backs and offensive line. It's going to be interesting to see when they step on the field, how does it actually play out and how have they been able to develop? Because, they've had spring and everything, but some of these teams you're playing against, they have returning players, right, who have been together and they've had that chemistry for a long time. So I think they're excited. They got to temper the expectations until we see how it all plays out. But there's a lot of reason to be excited about the wide receiving core, especially with some of the guys they brought back as well.
From a position group standpoint, if there is a concern, where would it be?
Offensively, I think tackle is the question mark. You have a pretty good idea of what the interior of the offensive line is going to look like, but tackle, Ryan Silverfield even said it the first day of practice. He just said these positions are up for grabs. So there's a lot of guys in there, and they've been competing throughout training camp, but someone's going to need to step up at both of those positions, and obviously tackle, very important for basically everything the offense wants to do. We can talk about it's great to have Seth Hennigan back as a third-year starting quarterback, but he needs time to throw. Mm-hmm. We've got all these, you talk about the talented running backs, they need lanes to go through. So that's going to be a big key. I'm not saying that there's nobody who can play tackle. They've got plenty of options. So it'll be interesting to see who has won those position battles and how that plays out as we move into the start of the season.
What about on the defensive side?
Yeah, the defensive side, there's a lot of returning production. So and kind of at all three levels, right? Jalen Allen is the guy who's sort of an unquestioned leader of this team at the front. And then they brought in Simeon Blair. And in the secondary, a guy who came from Arkansas was a captain there. And they've been raving about, basically since the moment that he stepped foot in Memphis, as someone, not only his talent as a player, but his leadership. So they've got those two guys, Jeff Canton-Arku at linebacker, another returning guy who they're expecting a lot out of. So they have some transfers that they're going to try to work in on the interior of the defensive line. That's something to watch. Josh Ellison is the guy coming from Oklahoma, looking for kind of more of an opportunity. So that's another position I think to keep an eye on. But defensively, you can look across the board and kind of say there's stability here. And I think people should be excited about kind of the returning talent coming back there.
So, Jonah, we talked a lot about this schedule being pretty advantageous for Memphis to have a big year. Do you look at it the same?
Yeah, I think the schedule sets up nicely with the caveat that stretch of games kind of in the middle, beginning to middle, with Missouri, Boise State, and Tulane is going to that's kind of the heart of the schedule in terms of the teams you're playing against, and it's going to, those are all winnable games. Let's just say that right off the bat, but they're also losable games because those are all good teams. So you've got to find a way to get through that. Obviously, playing Tulane at home, that's going to be the number one team in the conference. And you hope that that's the kind of game that everybody around the city is going to get up for, right? Because those are the defending champions. And we'll see, obviously, what the records are coming in. But that's going to be one to circle on the calendar right away. If you look at the back half of the schedule, I mean, you don't have to play UTSA, which people are picking to do really well, and SMU at home, and then the road games are against teams that are being picked to finish lower in the conference. So the back half of the schedule ends up setting up really nicely. It'll be interesting to see how they kind of develop through the first half.
Jonah, going back, when you were at Northwestern, did you work for the student newspaper there?
Yeah, Daily Northwestern.
Did you cover the football team?
I did, yeah.
So were you surprised when everything happened this offseason, or was there, when you were there, was there any conversation about this? What was your thought when you saw what happened this offseason with Fitzgerald?
No, I was surprised. It was really crazy to watch it unfold. Having been somebody who spent a lot of time working for the Daily Northwestern, I was the sports editor there, covered the football team, and really, when I'm watching it, I'm just so proud of the work that they did because, as you know, they're the ones who kind of broke this story open and continued to report on it, and they did an excellent job with that. And it's crazy to see how this all kind of unraveled on almost an hour-to-hour basis for those couple of days. And not only the football program, if you look at stuff happening to the baseball program and other stuff, it's, as a fan of the team, it's a disaster and it's an embarrassment, as it should be. But I definitely, me and a lot of people that I worked with at the Daily, kind of filled with immense pride to see the reporting that they did and how seriously they took it and how well they treated everybody throughout that whole process.
But there was no inkling when you were there that, this stuff was going on in not only the football program, but maybe there were things also in other sports programs. It was not like that when you were there, right?
No, not that I knew of. And the caveat is, as a student reporter and even just reporters in general, we didn't have the kind of access to the program that even I have here. So there's that. But no, I was very surprised by the whole thing and by the way that it played out and the investigation and everything. So, yeah, it was a lot.
Well, I know you're not only excited about covering the Tigers, you're also going to be covering the Grizzlies. So, again, if those of you who have not been reading yet on Jonah's stories on the Tigers, make sure you do so at the Commercial Appeal. But want to wish you nothing but the best. Look forward to seeing you out there at the games and coming on whenever you can on the radio show. Really appreciate it, Jonah.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you. Now, Jonah Dillon. You can follow him on Twitter at the Jonah Dillon. That's JONAHDYLAN.
This hour of the program is brought to you by Acura Memphis. Ridgeway and 385 is where you'll find them. You can also find them online at AcuraofMemphis.com. Go by, take a test drive of one of those beautiful new Acuras, maybe a pre-owned vehicle, maybe even a certified pre-owned Acura. You'll find them all at Acura Memphis, and you're always going to get a great deal, great experience when you go over there, great people to deal with that'll help you and make sure that they strive each and every time to make sure it's a great car buying experience when you go see them. Acura of Memphis. Again, right around the corner from us here at Flynn Broadcasting on Ridgeway, right at the intersection of 385, and online at AcuraofMemphis.com.
So who should who should Zach Johnson pick with his captain's picks for the U.S. Ryder Cup team? We will go over that when we return. Some final notes before we say goodbye and hand things off to Dave Woloshyn. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
A new era in public safety begins with you. Be the change you want to see. Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo, Saturday, August 26, 2023, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We'll be taking applications, performing basic testing, and interviewing candidates on site. Free parking will be located at Poplar Avenue and Front Street. Salary starting at $60,700. Benefits include a $15,000 sign-on bonus, up to $10,000 relocation assistance. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York, but many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Doug. With Liberty Mutual, you can customize your car insurance to save hundreds. Here's what those savings sound like in dollar bills. Here's what it sounds like in quarters. And here's what that sounds like in cryptocurrency, a thing I totally understand. 1010, I am money, cha-ching, beep boop, $.
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Response to the all-new Genesis Diamonds has been incredible. People are loving what we've brought to Memphis. Genesis is a different kind of jewelry store with more jewelry than you've ever seen in one place at prices you never thought possible. And Genesis is Memphis's home for the most sought-after jewelry designers in America. Thousands of styles from names like Tacori, Verragio, Henry Dawsey, Kirk Cara, Simon G, Christopher Designs, A. Jaffe, and more. Premium designer rings every woman dreams of. Handcrafted rings with intricate detail, extreme craftsmanship, and stunning artistic design. And not just rings. Genesis is home to a world-class selection of timeless and stylish fine jewelry and a killer selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. We can even custom design your dream piece as well. At Genesis, we're here to make your jewelry dreams come true. Discover the Genesis difference, forever changing how people in Memphis buy diamonds and fine jewelry. Now open at Poplar and Perkins, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte PE 659,993, MSRP 22,540, Nero P 501,5237, MSRP 41,390, EV6 P 560,3393, MSRP 50,200, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for details, offer valid through 9523. Dealer stock only, warranties a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
I got Jeff Allen on the line. Hey, what's the scoop over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
Randy, we got deals everyone wants. How about 41 MPG Highway, 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $249 a month, $29.99 due at signing.
Hey, Jeff, give me some EV scoop. boot.
2023 Nero EV win, 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $292 a month. And a 2023 Kia EV6 wins with up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGe. Only $425 a month, both $49.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease.
And Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty to boot.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We were talking earlier about NBA teams producing the most players in the FIBA World Championships and the international play and all that. This Bahamas team, the Bahamian team, I guess, trying to qualify for next year's Olympics. Andres Nociona of Argentina, veteran player, played in the NBA a long time. He calls out Eric Gordon, who plays for this Bahamas team, after they lost to the Bahamas. The Bahamas team, Eric Gordon, DeAndre Ayton, a couple other guys of note from the NBA. He said, is it fair what the Bahamas did to nationalize a player who had already competed for the United States, even winning a World Cup, at the last moment? The signing at will is called the Club League, not the national team competition, and it should be corrected. That is weird, isn't it? I forgot Gordon played for the United States. He turns around, boom, and now he plays for the Bahamas.
Yeah, I don't know how the citizenship stuff works for all that. I have no clue.
Yeah, so obviously he was a little irate after Argentina fell to the Bahamas of
I know
all countries.
Eric Gordon is from Chicago, and I'm pretty sure that's not in Bahamas, but I don't know.
I was going to say, it's like, yeah, I think it is possible to have dual citizenship, then you can play for another country.
Yeah, but that's his point is you shouldn't be able to play for one and then play for another one. That you should be.
But the question is, why does Eric Gordon have what is his tie to the Bahamas to give like?
He went on a cruise and they stopped at the Bahamas one time.
I mean, I was just in the Bahamas. Does that make me? Could I have gotten? They didn't know about my basketball ability when I was there, but.
Yeah, it's going to say he's got like a grandmother who's Bahamian or something.
His mom is Bahamian.
Okay,
I'm fine with that.
If Mama says,
if you're only one, that's half.
But Nocione's saying like at the last, he said club level's fine, but this is like big time world competition.
Hey, Andres,
and
shut
at the
up.
last second, he jumps in there.
They've never been in the Olympics. Just beat them. You guys are supposed to be better than them. Beat them.
You're going to tell my mama that I'm not Bahamian? Like, go ahead.
Yeah,
if it was like a great
don't say anything bad to mama.
But if it's his mom, I'm fine with that.
So the Ryder Cup captain selections for the United States will be next Tuesday, I believe, a week from today or a week from tomorrow, whatever it is. Zach Johnson, and then who is it? Luke Donald for the European team. Then he'll make his picks a couple days after that. But the top 6 spots that are locked in after the second playoff event for the FedEx Cup, the BMW, you now have Max Homa and Xander Schauffele earning their spots, along with Patrick Cantlay, Wyndham Clark, Scotty Scheffler, Brian Harmon. That's your top 6. They're locked in. So it knocked out Brooks Koepka because Koepka couldn't play anymore. He couldn't play PGA Tour events. So now the question is, who does Zach Johnson pick with his 6 picks that he has to make next week? Well, Zach Johnson, who has been very vocal about the LIV Tour, will he put in Brooks Koepka, who deserves to be in, at least in my opinion, or will he stay away from the LIV guys? There are some say that maybe Bryson DeChambeau should also be selected. So you have names like Jordan Spieth, who I think should be on the team, Colin Morikawa, Sam Burns, Ricky Fowler, who's had a great year, Keegan Bradley, who's had a great year. How about the hot Lucas Glover, especially the last few weeks, what he has been able to do. Cameron Young, you have others like that. But there's Justin Thomas out there. We know how great he has been in international play. What do you think Zach Johnson will do? And what would you do?
I have a feeling in the end he's going to take Brooks Koepka. He's been very non-committal on whether, like the Europeans, I think they are not taking any live guys. But Johnson has been kind of, as really said one way or another. I think he ends up taking Koepka.
Okay.
It wouldn't shock me if he ends up taking Justin Thomas. I don't think he should, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes that route, just because there will be a lot of support from within that team for him to take Justin Thomas, because everybody loves Justin Thomas. But I would not take Justin Thomas.
Spieth is a given, right?
Yeah, Spieth and Morikawa, Ricky Fowler.
Who would you go with?
I would think would all be locks.
Would you go with Glover?
I think, I think out of then it comes down to if you want to take Koepka. I think it comes down to Koepka, Cameron Young, Keegan Bradley, Sam Burns, Justin Thomas. And I think you're looking at probably three of those guys.
So you wouldn't take Lucas Glover?
I would not, no.
Okay. Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets. That's guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's a good deal. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. What's coming up? NFL, college football, U.S. Open tennis, baseball, and the pennant races. Then eventually you have the playoffs and the World Series. And then before too long, the NBA and college basketball. So visit FanDuel.com/Gasman and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or over, present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit is required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call TN Redline. That's 1-800-889-9789. All right, tomorrow on the program, again, 5 favorite things. If you missed it earlier, your 5 favorite beaches that you've been to around the world. Your 5 favorite beaches that you have been to around the world. Get your list together. Get them into us. We will discuss it tomorrow on the program. Also, tomorrow at 7 o'clock, we will discuss them at about 9:30 as we do each and every Wednesday. SEC predictions tomorrow. We'll go over the entire SEC. Jerry Palm will join us for another season with JP. Plus, we'll talk Grizzlies with DeMichael Cole. And again, Jaren Jackson Jr., Santi Aldama, getting ready for the FIBA World Championships. I want to thank Connor O'Gara, Jeff Crane, and Jonah Dillon for joining us on the program today. Dave Woloshin is next with Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. For Eli Savoy and for Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Try to stay cool. Have a great day, everybody.